Hollyweird is getting more artificial every day. Here's more celebrities that simply don't even look like humans anymore. There was a time when Hollywood beauty standards were unrealistic. Now they're just biologically confusing because lately some celebrities don't look overdone, they don't look enhanced, they look like they were designed by AI halfway through an update. So let's talk about celebs who don't look human anymore and why it's officially getting unsettling. Let's start strong, yeah? Madonna. I don't even know where to begin because at this point, Madonna doesn't have a face. She has a filter in permanent beta mode. Now, every time she posts a photo, it's like, who is this woman and why is she wearing Madonna's name tag? Her cheeks sit higher than her eyes. Her skin has literally no texture, no pores, no past. It's giving Wax Museum meets Instagram Facetune trial version. She is an icon, a legend, but visually she's entered like a new species. Next up, Simon Cowell. Simon used to look like a normal human man who said mean things on television. Now he looks like he tried to pause his face mid-expression and it kind of just froze there forever. His eyes barely move, his mouth opens, but nothing else kind of joins the conversation. It's less youthful and more Madame Tussauds After Hours. Then there's Donatella Versace. Listen, Donatella is fashion royalty, I know, but her face has been stretched so tight it looks like it's actively trying to escape her skull. Her cheeks are sharp, her lips are inflated, her skin shines like it's been shellacked. She doesn't look old, she doesn't look young, she just kind of looks like editorially preserved. Now let's talk about Zac Efron because this one shook people. Zac went from like heartthrob to Pixar side character in record time. His jaw is so wide now, it looks like it was installed separately. His face doesn't move naturally, it shifts, and every time someone asks what happened, the explanations somehow make it more confusing. Sir, like no amount of dental work turns you into a Lego action figure. Kris Jenner deserves her own category because Kris doesn't age, she rebrands. Every year she unveils a new face like it's an iPhone launch. I mean, her skin is smoother than her daughter's, and that alone should raise some questions, right? I mean, she looks incredible, but also like she exists outside of time. Blink and you'll miss her expression change. Then there's Mickey Rourke. Now this is less shocking and kind of just more tragic. I mean, his face tells the story of too many procedures, too much pressure, and a system that doesn't let men age either. His features are swollen, reshaped, and unrecognizable. It's a reminder that, you know, this obsession doesn't stop, it just keeps demanding more. Let's throw Lil' Kim into the mix because the woman who once defined confidence now looks like she's wearing a completely different person's face. Her nose, lips, eyes, none of it matches her old features. It's not evolution, it's erasure, and that's what makes it very uncomfortable. And finally, we have Cher. Now, Cher is fascinating because she openly said she'll do whatever she wants to her face, and honestly, respect for that. But at this point, Cher doesn't look human. She looks mythical, like an immortal being who appears every few decades to remind us that she still exists. Her face hasn't aged, it's been kind of maintained like a historic building. And here's the thing, this isn't about shaming, this is about a culture so terrified of wrinkles that it's willing to trade humanity for symmetry, because when everyone starts chasing the same nose, the same jaw, the same frozen forehead, we don't end up looking younger, we end up looking, you know, manufactured. And the scariest part, this face isn't rare anymore, it's becoming the standard, and when celebrities stop looking human, it messes with what the rest of us think we're supposed to look like. Aging is normal, texture is normal, movement is normal, but whatever this is Hollywood losing the plot, and honestly, I miss faces that could still express emotion. Miley Cyrus. Okay, listen, Miley Cyrus used to look like the rebellious Disney kid who stole your lighter at a party. Now she looks like an AI model trained on Southern Gothic pop star with a suspiciously perfect bone structure. It's like every photo of her comes with its own terms and conditions. The jawline, very sharp, cheekbones like Amazon Prime delivered overnight. She still looks amazing, but she also looks like she's about to glitch if you ask her to smile twice. Miley 2025 is giving very hardcore uncanny valley chic, like someone typed "give me Dolly Parton meets cyberpunk android" into Midjourney and hit generate. Demi Lovato. Demi's face journey has had more plot twists than American Horror Story. Every time she resurfaces, she looks like a brand new like NPC that just kind of unlocked. The skin unreal, yes. The features amplified. She doesn't look bad really. She just doesn't really look human. She looks like the final boss in a video game about, you know, self-reinvention. Demi 2025 is giving AI glam filter with an attitude problem. Like if you ask Siri to sing, cry, and post a thirst trap kind of all at once. Julia Fox. Julia Fox has officially transitioned from muse to experimental art installation. Her face is now like a geometric event. Every angle, every contour, every eyebrow engineered. She looks like she was 3D printed on a runway. Julia always had a very intense look, but now it's like she's living permanently in a stylized editorial universe where humans no longer have pores. She's giving if AI became, sentient and then immediately hired a stylist. Beautiful, yes, kind of. Relatable, absolutely not. She looks like the future came early and forgot to patch her update. Khloe Kardashian. Khloe's face is now so smoothed, contoured, and rendered that if she walked past a security camera, the footage honestly might autocorrect. She looks like the final evolution of Instagram face. No pores, no texture, just immaculate, like geometry. Like Khloe doesn't even age, she just updates. She's the iPhone of celebrities. And to top it off, it's been exposed recently that they are using AI clips of Khloe in their show, which makes this like 10 times more funnier and actually proves my point. Noah Cyrus. Noah Cyrus looks like someone held a seance and summoned the spirit of Instagram face 2099. She's pretty, but there's something almost like holographic about her. Like if you poked her with your finger, it would kind of go straight through. She has that very smooth, shiny, like surgically ethereal look, like a porcelain doll coated in Python. I mean, the expressions don't move the way human expressions should move anymore. They move like she's buffering. Amelia Gray. Now, Amelia Gray looks like she was created in a lab for the purpose of selling expensive moisturizer. I mean, her face is the blueprint. The symmetry is suspicious. The features look like they were selected from a drop-down menu. She's really honestly so flawless, it kind of like loops back around into uncanny, like a hyper real simulation trying really hard to pass, the test. I mean, her whole aesthetic is model, but make it, slightly unsettling. Gabriette. Now, Gabriette looks like a goth alien princess who crash landed here and immediately signed a fashion contract. Her bones are sharper than like my student loan anxiety. She's gorgeous, but also appears like she could blink sideways. The vibe is like AI trained exclusively on dark aesthetics and like French runway shows. There's a reason people keep calling her, otherworldly. She legitimately looks like she's not from this world. Bella Hadid. At this point, Bella Hadid looks like the industry standard preset for beauty. She walked so AI filters could run. And honestly, she is stunning, but also so like mathematically symmetrical, it borders on paranormal. Bella looks like she was like carved by a perfectionist robot sculptor who's just never seen a real human before, but a very detailed description. Somewhere along the way, Hollywood collectively decided to stop looking human and start looking like limited edition, high resolution avatars. I'm not saying they're AI clones, I'm just saying if one of them glitches on the red carpet, I'm not gonna be shocked. Hollywood men don't look human anymore, and hear me out, okay? Have you noticed that some famous men don't seem to be aging anymore? I mean, not aging well or badly per se, just not aging period, or they look like, AI versions of themselves. Whether it's fillers, Botox, cosmetic treatments, or something else entirely, some of Hollywood's biggest male stars are starting to look less like themselves and more like highly edited versions of themselves. So let's talk about it. First up is Barry Keoghan, however you say his last name. Now, over the last few years, fans have become obsessed with comparing older photos of Barry to how he looks today. Some people swear he's had cosmetic work done, others argue it's simply weight loss, or better styling, expensive skincare, and the fact that he's become one of the most photographed men in Hollywood lately, I mean, whatever the reason people cannot stop talking about it is, I don't know, but what's interesting is that Barry has always had a very unique face to begin with. I mean, that's part of what made him stand out as an actor in the first place, but the internet has become obsessed with like perfection, that anytime someone's jawline looks sharper or their skin looks smoother or off, people immediately start playing detective, and Barry has definitely become one of the internet's favorite mysteries. Next up is Joe Jonas. Joe has openly discussed cosmetic injectables and treatments designed to smooth facial lines. Think about how different that is from Hollywood 20 years ago. Back then, male celebrities would never admit to using moisturizer. Now they're talking about cosmetic procedures the same way people talk about getting a haircut. I mean, what's fascinating is that Joe isn't trying to look dramatically different. He's trying to look exactly the same. And that's the new Hollywood goal, not looking younger, looking permanently frozen in time. Then we got Chris Appleton. If you follow celebrity culture, you already know Chris. He works with like some of the biggest names in entertainment, including Kim K. He's become a celebrity himself in the process. Fans online constantly discuss his appearance because his transformation over the years has been impossible to ignore. I mean, his skin is flawless, the jawline is sharp. Everything looks polished to perfection. And while Chris has never hidden the fact that he invests heavily into looking his best, he represents a larger trend happening amongst men in entertainment. Next up is David Beckham. Now, David Beckham has been considered one of the most handsome men on the planet for decades, which makes this conversation even more interesting because, you know, if someone who already won the genetic lottery still feels pressure to maintain a youthful appearance, imagine how everybody else feels. Now, over the years, fans have noticed subtle changes in Beckham's appearance, from, you know, his skin to his hair to his overall look. Nothing extreme, nothing shocking, but enough that people regularly, you know, speculate about the treatments and procedures he may or may not be using. Then there's Gordon Ramsay. Now, Gordon has actually spoken publicly about receiving cosmetic treatments after his children pointed out the lines on his face. Imagine being one of the most successful chefs on earth and your own kids roast you into booking an appointment. I mean, that's pretty brutal. But Gordon's honesty is what makes him so interesting. He's one of the few celebrities willing to openly acknowledge the pressure. Let's talk about Jim Carrey now. Jim has always had one of the most expressive faces in Hollywood. You know, his entire career was built on exaggerated facial expressions and physical comedy that most people couldn't pull off if they tried. Alrighty then. But that's why fans have been fascinated by how different he looks in recent years, and even more recently with this whole like clone drama theory that exploded. He doesn't look like Jim or any version of himself he's played from his movies. He literally looks like that comedian who looks like him and then puts out TikToks. I don't know. Argue with someone else about this one. I think he's been cloned. And finally, we have Bretman Rock, a weird selection, I know, but now Bretman has never been shy about it though, and he's not shy about, you know, his beauty treatments, cosmetic enhancements, none of it. Unlike a lot of celebrities who act like they woke up looking flawless one morning, Bretman is refreshingly honest about the effort that goes into maintaining his appearance. But that's exactly why he's interesting for this conversation. When you compare photos from years ago to today, the transformation is pretty obvious. The skin is flawless, the features look more refined, everything looks polished to perfection. And while Bretman has always been stunning, there's no denying he represents a generation where cosmetic treatments aren't something people hide anymore. They're like part of the routine. Men aren't just expected to age well anymore, they're expected to barely age at all. And somewhere between the fillers, the filters, and the endless pursuit of perfection, some celebrities have started looking less like real people and more like highly edited versions of themselves. So the question is whether that's actually what anyone wants, because at some point looking human becomes a lot more impressive than looking perfect. I don't know. Is Madonna even real? Fans are starting to think she's become artificial, literally and figuratively. Madonna just announced her big music comeback, and instead of celebrating, the internet is collectively squinting at their screens like, wait, who is that? Because apparently, according to half the comment section, Madonna doesn't even look human anymore. She posted these soft, dreamy, pink-washed photos to mark her return to Warner Records, all silky robes, glossy skin, and lighting so flattering it could raise the deceased. But instead of fans being like, yes, our queen is back, the conversation immediately derailed into chaos. People zoomed in, stared way too long, and started asking questions nobody was prepared for. One person literally said they thought it was an inflatable doll ad, and honestly, the internet never pulls its punches. Others begged her to go back to your original beauty, like she can just, you know, hit the undo button on 40 years of global stardom, world tours, and a whole lot of fillers. Some were harsher, calling her face inhuman, over-edited, or just flat out not Madonna. But let's be real, this isn't the first time people have claimed she's crossed from pop icon to uncanny valley tour guide. I mean, every time she posts a new tour announcement or selfie, you can hear the collective gasp. You know, people say she looks unrecognizable, plastic, and some even compared her to the infamous Tiger Lady. Others claim she's starting to resemble Marilyn Manson, which is a journey I don't think any of us expected in 2025. Even plastic surgeons, uninvited of course, have jumped in, pointing out everything from an aggressively tight facelift to filler overload, sharper bone structure, and cheeks that are stargazing at this point. According to them, her face is so pulled back, it has its own tension arc. But here's where it gets really messy. Every once in a while, Madonna posts something unfiltered and suddenly she looks normal, like human, gorgeous even. There was a video of her chilling in a pink slip dress with barely any glam, and fans were shocked in a good way. People were actually relieved, calling her rooted and beautiful, like they finally saw the real Madonna peek out from behind the digital hologram version. And then came the Met Gala, where she showed up looking surprisingly natural. I mean, almost like she hit remove all fillers on her way out the door. Madonna, they recognized from the past, the one who didn't look like she was, you know, rendered on a kind of gaming engine. But don't think everyone's convinced. Reddit is currently in full-blown identity crisis about her. Half the people think critics, are ageist and sexist, saying Madonna has every right to reinvent herself at 66. The other half swear she's chasing relevance so hard that she sprinted straight past the line of self-recognition. One person said she's fixing her image but losing the soul that made her Madonna, which is poetic and also brutal. It also raises the real question: is this just Madonna doing what Madonna does, pushing boundaries, reinventing herself, refusing to age quietly? Or has she gone so far into the world of filters, fillers, and face tightening sorcery that the public genuinely can't recognize her anymore? Because right now, the reactions are giving beauty icon, sci-fi, hologram, wax, museum, guest star, and maybe even AI generated pop star with questionable coding. Either way, the woman knows how to dominate a headline. I mean, her comeback announcement was supposed to be about new music, but instead the internet is out here debating whether she's still human. And honestly, that might be the most Madonna thing she could have ever done. Whether you think she looks fabulous, filtered, or fresh out of a futuristic lab, one thing's for sure: people cannot stop talking about her, which means this comeback, oh yeah, it's already viral. Selena Gomez just had a full-on breakdown over her botched face. And yes, that's what the internet is calling it. Brutal, I know. In a raw emotional video that's now making the rounds, Selena is seen wiping away tears, visibly upset, saying she's tired of people lying about her appearance. She flat out says she never had anything done besides Botox. That's it. No fillers, no implants, no lifts, nothing, allegedly. But let's be honest, people aren't buying it. Online sleuths and beauty snarks have been dissecting her face for months, even years. Some say her jawline looks too sharp, her cheeks too plump, her expression's a little frozen. The theories: chin implants, cheek fillers, fox eye lift, a nose job, take your pick. One Reddit comment literally said it's like moving lips on a corpse's face. Yikes. And while Selena is clearly hurt, the internet isn't exactly letting up. Some fans are saying they miss her old face. Now the baby face Selena from the Wizards of Waverly Place days. Now others are accusing her though of going too far and now trying to cover it up with selective honesty. And then there's the acting criticism. People say she's lost the ability to emote on screen, especially in her recent work that she's done, like that true crime satire show. Like, how are you supposed to sell a mystery when your face can't even sell surprise? Now, to be fair, Selena has lupus, right? She's on medication. It can cause puffiness, weight changes, facial swelling, and she's been open about that. And that definitely complicates things. But still, people are asking, is it lupus or is it a little extra help from a scalpel and a syringe? Now, what's wild is that Selena's never really been one to chase the Hollywood beauty standard. That's what made her so relatable. But now she's caught in the same trap so many other celebs fall into, which is, deny, 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 deny. They eventually then soft launch the truth when people stop caring. Honestly, this whole thing says way more about how we treat women in the spotlight than it does about Selena's actual face. She's damned if she does, damned if she doesn't, but when your job relies on your face and that face suddenly looks, well, not like your face, people are gonna talk. So is Selena telling the truth? Is it really just Botox? Or is there more going on behind the scenes that she's just not quite ready to admit? Let me know what you think. Are people being too harsh? Or is this the price of being a public figure in the age of HD cameras and Reddit investigators with a little too much time on their hands? And remember, aging is normal, injectables are optional, but lying the internet never forgets. Celebrities and facelifts go together like peanut butter and jelly, but what happens when the facelift makes them look worse? Well, let's take a deeper look. You ever look at a celebrity and think, who told you that was a good idea? Because listen, money can buy a lot of things, but apparently not restraint. And in Hollywood, the pressure to stay young, flawless, and camera ready 24/7 has pushed some celebrities way past enhancement and straight into what happened. Starting with Donatella Versace. Now, Donatella is a fashion icon, no question, but over the years, her appearance has become one of the most talked about examples of overdone cosmetic work. Multiple reports and expert commentary have pointed to repeated use of fillers, facelifts, and skin treatments that created that very tight, overly smooth look people constantly notice. I mean, surgeons often say when procedures are layered over time like that, the face can lose its natural movement, and that's exactly what people see here. And that's the kind of pattern, it's rarely just one procedure. Next, we have Jocelyn Windelstein. Now, you might know her as the Catwoman, and that nickname didn't come out of nowhere. She openly admitted to undergoing extensive surgeries to achieve a more feline appearance. I know, weird. This wasn't a subtle tweaking, this was a complete transformation. I mean, her case is often referenced as one of the most extreme examples of cosmetic surgery taken too far, where the goal shifts from enhancing features to completely redesigning them. And once you cross into that territory, I mean, there's no real undo button here. Now let's talk about someone whose story is honestly just tragic, Linda Evangelista. Now, she didn't even go under the knife. She had a fat freezing procedure called cool sculpting, something marketed as safe and non-invasive, but she developed a rare condition where the treated fat cells actually expanded instead of shrinking. Now, she later spoke publicly about being permanently disfigured and said it completely changed her life, even forcing her out of the public eye for years. I mean, that's the scary part. Even procedures that sound easy or safe can have serious, irreversible outcomes. Next, we have Priscilla Presley. Now, her situation is honestly one of the most disturbing. I mean, reports revealed she received silicone injections from someone who wasn't properly licensed. Now, that result was long-term facial damage, including lumps, and a very unnatural texture that couldn't simply be reversed. I mean, that's not just a bad cosmetic decision, that's a permanent consequence from trusting the wrong person. And finally, Mickey Rourke. Now, his case started differently. He needed reconstructive surgery after injuries from boxing, but even he admitted that things went a little too far. I mean, after multiple procedures trying to fix previous ones, his appearance changed dramatically in ways that sparked a lot of public attention. And that's another trap people fall into, trying to correct one procedure with another procedure and then another until you don't recognize yourself anymore. And that's really what all of this comes down to. It's not just bad surgery, it's chasing perfection, overcorrecting, and not knowing when to stop, because the truth is, the best work is the kind you don't notice, and the worst is when it becomes the only thing you can see. And once that line gets crossed, there is literally no going back. Plastic surgery destroyed these celebrities' faces. Let's dig into it. Let's be clear right up front, plastic surgery isn't evil, but when it goes wrong, it goes very wrong. And when it goes wrong on a famous face, there's no hiding it, no undo button, no soft launch. These are real celebrities whose faces were permanently changed, not enhanced, by procedures that spiraled out of control. And yes, some of this damage can never be reversed. Mickey Rourke. Now, Mickey Rourke is the blueprint for what happens when too many surgeries collide with the wrong surgeon. In the 1980s, he was considered one of the most handsome men in Hollywood. Then came boxing injuries, followed by reconstructive surgeries, followed by cosmetic tweaks, followed by more tweaks to fix the tweaks. His face became swollen, tight, uneven, and almost mask-like. Rourke himself admitted that most of his surgeries were attempts to fix damage and that several were done by the wrong doctors. I mean, once facial structure collapses like that, you can't just go back. I mean, bone shifts, scar tissue builds, muscles, stop moving naturally. This wasn't aging, this was permanent facial trauma. Jocelyn Wildenstein. Now, you cannot talk about irreversible plastic surgery without Jocelyn. Nicknamed the Catwoman, Jocelyn underwent extreme facial procedures over decades, reportedly to maintain a feline appearance her husband liked. So cheek implants, brow lifts, eye alterations, repeated fillers, and tightening procedures. The result wasn't youthful, it was anatomical distortion. I mean, her facial proportions changed so dramatically that doctors have said reversal simply just isn't possible. The skin, fat pads, and underlying structures were permanently altered. This wasn't one bad decision. This was like a slow, unstoppable transformation. Lil' Kim. Now, Lil' Kim's face change shocked fans because it happened gradually and then suddenly, like all at once. Nose reshaping, skin lightening, fillers, jaw work, lip alterations, and a lot more. At one point, fans struggled to recognize her at all. She later opened up about deep insecurity and pressure to, conform to beauty standards in Hollywood. But medically speaking, repeated procedures on the same areas cause scarring, loss of elasticity, and facial imbalance. I mean, when that happens, doctors aren't sculpting anymore. They're basically patching, and patch jobs do not age well. Meg Ryan. Now, Meg Ryan built a career on being effortlessly expressive, big smile, crinkly eyes, a lot of warmth. Then came fillers, then came tightening, and then came facial volume loss. Her cheeks became stiff, her smile restricted, and her expressions muted. I mean, that's the danger with overfilling and aggressive lifting. You lose the very movement that makes a face human. So once facial facial muscles are altered or damaged, no amount of dissolving brings expression fully back. Hollywood didn't stop calling her because she aged. They stopped calling because her face stopped moving. Simon Cowell. Now, Simon Cowell openly admitted he went too far, and honestly, that admission came after the damage was already done. Excessive fillers stretched the skin, tightening procedures froze his facial muscles, his face appeared puffy, shiny, and rigid, almost like uncanny valley vibes. Now, he later dissolved fillers and swore off injectables, but here's the problem. Once skin is overstretched, it doesn't snap back. Doctors can reduce volume, they can't restore original texture or elasticity. The face remembers everything. Donatella Versace. Now, Donatella Versace didn't just age in the public eye, she transformed in it. Fillers, lip augmentation, tightening procedures, and just repeated facial work, that dramatically altered her appearance over time. Her features became exaggerated, pulled, and structurally different from her original face. And while she's kind of embraced the look, plastic surgeons agree after decades of interventions and, the tissue itself just changes permanently. And at a certain point, maintenance becomes survival mode. Plastic surgery isn't about one procedure ruining a face, it's about repetition. It's about chasing youth instead of accepting evolution. And it's about letting fear drive the needle, because once you cross a certain line, there's just no fixing it. There's only learning to live with the face you created. And in Hollywood, that lesson is written all over these faces.
Some celebrities just don't know when to stop when it comes to fillers and Botox. Emma Stone looks completely different right now, and fans are speculating that she's had way too much Botox as her face looks extremely different. Now, speculation first intensified during Paris Fashion Week last year when photos of Emma alongside Blackpink's Lisa began circulating. The conversation picked up again at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, now known as the Actor Awards. Now, one person on TikTok wrote, "I don't care if it's a new face, it's gorgeous." While another said, "I don't know what she did to her face, but it looks so good." A third person commented, "She looks incredible, but I get a slight uncanny valley. She looks incredible, but I get a slight uncanny valley look just in her gaze." Then, at the Oscars this year, even more people were shocked by her appearance. Plastic surgeons think that she got some Botox, a brow lift, or something done to her eyes. Not to mention, fans are worried about her weight as they think she might be on Ozempic. At the BAFTAs earlier this year, discussion about Emma revolved around her slim figure, with some fans pointing to possible collarbones and sunken cheeks, as well as her slender frame as signs that she may be underweight. Madonna has so much work done to her face, it's honestly kinda sad. Now, at the 2023 Grammys, people were shocked and even a little disturbed by her new look. Her face was pulled back way too much and her skin was unnaturally smooth. Now, since then, her face has gotten better looking, more natural, but it's clear that she's gotten work done to achieve this look, because that is not natural aging. She's 67 years old and she's not showing any signs of aging, which is just weird. Hopefully, if she does get more Botox or even another facelift, it won't look as scary as it was in 2023. Sharon Osbourne's appearance has also concerned fans recently. Now, Sharon has no shame in revealing to the world that she's gotten facelifts, Botox, fillers, really anything. And she did look pretty good for a while, but then she became obsessed with Ozempic and it changed everything. She started taking Ozempic in 2023 and lost at least 42 pounds. But then she admitted that she had trouble eating and was still losing weight, saying that she was too skinny and gaunt but couldn't do anything about it. Since then, with the loss of her husband, Ozzy Osbourne, it seems like she's lost even more weight. Her face is very shallow and gaunt, and if I'm being honest, she does look sick. And Amanda Bynes' face has been ruined for a couple of reasons. First off, it's the Botox that she's gotten. In December 2023, she addressed speculations of her looks on TikTok, admitting that she had a bleph done, which removed excess skin from her eye creases. Now, she also struggled a lot with her mental health, and she has some tattoos on her face. More recently, Amanda has been open about taking Ozempic and that she's lost 28 pounds, which has also affected how her face looks with almost sunken in skin. Now, a couple months ago, Amanda posted a photo of herself and captioned the post, "I usually don't like paparazzi pictures because I was 180 pounds, but now I've lost 28 pounds on Ozempic. I'm down to 152 pounds now. I know I still look big, but this photo is really inspiring to me."
Let's talk about a very specific Hollywood phenomenon. It's It's called pillow face, and it usually happens when fillers or cosmetic tweaks go just a little too far. Instead of looking refreshed, the face starts looking overly rounded, tight, and almost airbrushed in real life. Let's start with Courtney Cox. For years, the former Friends star looked like she hadn't aged a day, but fans began noticing something else. Her cheeks looked usually full and her facial structure seemed different from, the sharp features she originally had in the 90s. Eventually, Courtney opened up about it. She admitted she went too far with fillers because the changes happened gradually. One procedure leads to another, and suddenly you're looking in the mirror and realizing the person staring back doesn't quite look like you anymore. Her words, not mine. Now, the good news, she had most of the fillers dissolved and said she feels much more like herself now. Madonna. When Madonna appeared at the 2023 Grammy Awards, the internet exploded. People barely recognized her. Her cheeks were dramatically lifted, her jaw looked fuller, and her entire face had that unmistakable pillow effect. Madonna later clapped back at critics, saying the photos were taken with a distorted camera lens, but plastic surgeons and fans alike, pointed out that the rounded cheeks and tightened features are commonly associated with filler overuse. And look, Madonna has always been a chameleon, reinvention is her brand, but this particular transformation definitely got people talking. Simon Cowell, the brutally honest American Idol judge, became the subject of headlines when viewers noticed his face looking increasingly fuller and less expressive on television. Simon actually addressed it publicly. He admitted he'd been using fillers for years and eventually realized it was just too much. In fact, he said his own son barely recognized old photos of him. That was a wake-up call, right? Simon has since dialed it back and said he's focusing more on healthier lifestyle changes instead of cosmetic procedures. Now let's talk about one of the earliest Hollywood cautionary tales, Lara Flynn Boyle. Now back in the 90s, Lara Flynn Boyle was known for her delicate features and sharp cheekbones, but over time her appearance changed dramatically. Photos began circulating showing noticeably swollen cheeks and a tighter, puffier face than fans remembered. Plastic surgeons who spoke to media outlets speculated that fillers and other cosmetic procedures may have contributed to the transformation. And it sparked, a huge conversation about how Hollywood's pressure to stay young can sometimes push actors towards extreme changes. Janice Dickinson, now the legendary supermodel, has been incredibly open about her cosmetic surgery history. She's talked about facelift, fillers, implants, pretty much the whole list. At one point, her cheeks appeared significantly fuller than they had during her supermodel days, giving her that classic overfilled look. But Janice has always been unapologetically honest about the industry and the choices she made to keep working on it. And finally, Donatella Versace. Now, as the creative force behind the Versace empire, Donatella has lived in the spotlight for decades. Over the years, her appearances have evolved dramatically with fuller cheeks, smoother skin, a much rounder facial structure than she had in earlier photos. And plastic surgeons frequently cite her as an example of how repeated fillers and procedures can gradually change the natural proportions of the face. But Donatella herself has never shied away from cosmetic treatments. In fact, she said beauty and reinvention have always been a part of the fashion culture. And here's the truth about pillow face. It's rarely one procedure. It's a slow buildup. It's a little filler, here, a little filler there, until the balance kind of shifts. But lately, something interesting is happening. More celebrities are dissolving fillers, and some are even embracing a more natural look again, which might be the biggest plot twist of them all in the beauty industry. Bold enough to admit you regret Botox? Well, most celebs wouldn't be, but Cameron Diaz sure is. Here's what she's admitted. Picture this. You're Cameron Diaz. You've spent decades as Hollywood's golden girl. You've starred in the movies everyone still quotes. You've got the megawatt smile, the personality that somehow makes A-listers and regular people feel like they could grab tacos with you. But you're 52 now, still gorgeous, still magnetic, and one day you think, maybe I'll just try a little Botox. Just a tiny tweak. Everyone's doing it. What's the harm? Well, the harm, according to Cameron, everything. She admitted she went for it once, but what happened next was not the youthful boost that she expected. Instead, she looked in the mirror and didn't even recognize herself. It wasn't that she looked bad, it was that she didn't look like her. The woman who, lit up screens and, There's Something About Mary and Charlie's Angels suddenly had a face that felt borrowed. She said it herself, I'd rather see my face aging than a face that doesn't belong to me at all. That's not a casual comment, that's a full rejection of the Hollywood beauty machine. And she didn't just stop there, she's been vocal about how Botox didn't make her feel confident, it made her feel disconnected from her own reflection. That's the kind of identity crisis no amount of filler can fix. And let's be real, this is Hollywood we're talking about. The industry thrives on the illusion of eternal youth. There's pressure coming from every direction, agents, casting directors, makeup artists, stylists, even fans. You're not just aging in private, you're aging under the glare of high definition cameras and a million Instagram zoom-ins. And when you've been the face of your generation, that pressure to keep it tight is like next level. Cameron gave in once and it taught her exactly what she didn't want. She noticed something a lot of people never talk about, which is the loss of expression. That tiny pull wrinkle at the corner of the mouth, the crinkle in, your eyes when you really kind of laugh. Botox smooths it all out, but it also smooths out the humanity of it all. I mean, Cameron's charm was always in her full throttle, animated personality. Freezing her face meant freezing part of her spirit. So she ditched it completely. And I mean, she's been riding the natural aging wave ever since. These days, her beauty routine is more about supporting what she already has instead of reshaping it. Think, Whole Foods, lots of water, facials, lasers that don't turn you into a mannequin, organic skincare, and yes, the occasional, organic wine, because Cameron isn't about to skip her joy for the sake of one less wrinkle. And let's not ignore the bigger picture here. Cameron's not the only celebrity hitting pause on the Botox bandwagon. We've seen a steady trickle of famous faces admitting that they've actually cut back or quit entirely. Jennifer Garner, Ariana Grande, Courtney Cox. I mean, there's a growing club of women saying, I'd rather have lines than lose myself. The trend isn't anti-Botox, it's just pro-authenticity. It's about wanting a face that can actually move when you're happy, angry, sad, or in Cameron's case, laughing so hard that you snort. For Cameron, Botox wasn't a disaster, it was a turning point. It showed her that quick fixes can come with hidden costs, and sometimes the most radical beauty statement you can make in Hollywood is to just let yourself be. And let's be honest, she's still drop dead gorgeous. I mean, the lines on her face, they're not flaws, they're proof that she's lived a life full of joy, love, and probably a few all-night dance parties. So what went wrong with Botox? Well, for Cameron, the answer is simple. It made her feel like a stranger in her own skin. And in a town where people will do anything to hold on to youth, that moment of clarity is a rare and powerful thing. Her message is basically keep your personality, keep your expressions, and if you're going to toast to something, make it, to the fact that your face still looks like you, because here's the truth, beauty fades, trends change, but authenticity, that is forever. Something strange is happening in Hollywood, and it's written all over people's faces, literally. Some of these stars walked into fame looking one way and came out the other side looking like they survived a blender, a time machine, and maybe a malfunctioning beauty filter all at once. Let's start with Madonna, the woman who reinvented herself a dozen times. But this latest reinvention had the entire internet in a chokehold. Her face debuted at an award show looking swollen, stretched, and almost swollen to the point of inflation. Fans blamed fillers, over tightening, and aggressive contouring, leaving her expression stuck somewhere between surprised and stunned. The material girl suddenly looked like she was made of brand new material. Then you've got Zac Efron, once the poster boy for jawlines that made teenagers lose their minds, mine included. Then he popped up online with a jaw so wide, people thought he was in prosthetics for a movie. Nope, he later explained he shattered his jaw in an accident, and the muscles grew out of control. But the internet had already had its theories. His new face sparked everything from Botox gone rogue to handsome Squidward cosplay. Courtney Cox, everybody's favorite clean line, sarcastic queen from Friends. Years later, when she turned up noticeably puffier, rounder, and frozen, fans panicked. She later admitted she went overboard with, fillers and had them dissolve. She said she didn't even realize how far it had gone until she saw old pictures. That's when you know it's bad, when your past self could sue your current self for identity theft. Next is Simon Cowell, a man whose face changed so much over the years that even he joked about it. Fillers, Botox, tightening, smoothing. His face started looking like it was permanently set to emoji mode. Eventually, he admitted he pushed it too far and reversed all of it. I mean, when you're the one sending contestants home, but your own face gets voted off the island, that's when it's time to retire the syringe. Renee Zellweger, and then there's Renee Zellweger. When she appeared at a red carpet event looking dramatically different, softer cheeks, lifted brows, smoother skin, the internet had a meltdown. Some people defended her, others said she was just unrecognizable. She denied major surgery, but whatever changed her face sparked a whole cultural debate. It was less Bridget Jones's Diary and more Bridget Jones's Witness Protection Program. So what is the theme here? Hollywood demands eternal youth, but the price is usually your face. These celebrities aren't ruined, but they're proof that, chasing perfection can take you far away from the features the world fell in love with you for. And in the end, nothing ages you faster than trying way too hard not to. Let's talk about the glow-ups that somehow turned into glow no's, because today's before and after isn't about aging gracefully, it's about when subtle went out the window and fillers took the wheel. For the men, on this list. Zac Efron. Zac Efron used to have the kind of face Disney executives, ensure. Clean jawline, boy next door smile, zero notes. Then suddenly his face showed up looking different, puffy, wider, almost like his jaw went through a growth spurt without telling the rest of his head. Zac had said it was the result of an injury and recovery, and sure, that may explain some of it, but the internet noticed the fillers, the swelling, the stiffness. The thing is, Zac didn't need a single tweak. He aged into his looks perfectly. Whatever happened, intentional or not, it muted what made him so effortlessly attractive in the first place. Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell is basically the poster child for just because you can, doesn't mean you should. Early Simon, sharp, expressive, naturally aging. Then came the fillers and more fillers. And then the point where his face stopped moving altogether. He's openly admitted he went too far, which honestly earns him some points for self-awareness. But at one point, his face looked like it was permanently surprised by its own reflection. When your job is reacting to people emotionally, freezing your face is a choice. Mickey Rourke. Now this one hurts. Mickey Rourke was devastatingly handsome in the 80s. Rugged, masculine, movie star handsome. Then boxing injuries, surgeries, and bad cosmetic decisions piled up. His face now barely resembles the man he once was. Mickey has openly said the surgeries were meant to fix damage, not chase youth, but the results speak for themselves, right? I mean, it's one of the most extreme before and after cases in Hollywood, and a reminder that too much reconstruction can completely erase what made someone iconic. John Travolta. Now, John Travolta had one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. Strong features, expressive eyes, that, unmistakable smile. Now, over the years though, his face started to look overly smooth, tight in places it never used to be. The kind of look, where you can't tell if he's 45 or a very well-preserved wax figure. It's not disastrous, but it's a clear case of over-maintenance, dulling natural character. Sometimes the lines are what make the face in the first place. Wayne Newton. Now, Wayne Newton's face tells a long story of just one more tweak. Early on, he looked great, classic Vegas charm, but over time, repeated procedures stretched, tightened, and altered his features, kind of to the point where he became almost unrecognizable. When cosmetic work starts making you look like a different person instead of a refreshed version of yourself, that's when it's kind of gone too far. Sylvester Stallone. Now, Sylvester Stallone built his image on rugged masculinity, the face, the snarl, the wear and tear, it all worked, but in recent years, his face has looked overly filled and smoothed, especially around the eyes and cheeks. It softens him in a way that clashes with the persona he's known for. He didn't need to fight aging. I mean, aging, was part of his brand. The takeaway here isn't that men shouldn't touch their faces. It's that Hollywood keeps convincing people that aging is the enemy when overdoing it is actually a lot worse. A few lines tell a story. A frozen face just tells everyone you panicked. And honestly, the most tragic part, most of these men were already aging just fine. The real glow up would have been leaving well enough alone.
At number 10, Kylie Jenner. Though there are plenty of other celebrities who have gotten lots of plastic surgery done, Kylie Jenner is one of the first people you might think of when it comes to having a drastically different look. If you compare what she looked like when she was younger to the way she looks now, you can see that there is a drastic change, and it's not all chalked up to the fact that she's gotten older. The one procedure that she's known for having is her lip fillers. She became the it girl when it came to the big lip trend, and it even got so intense that people were trying to imitate her large lips by creating the Kylie Jenner lip challenge. She had the filler dissolve for a brief time after the birth of her daughter Stormi, but that natural phase didn't last too long. On top of her lip filler, there has been speculation and theories around what other procedures she had done, though she only admits to ever getting fillers. It is also believed that she has gotten work to her body to achieve the curves that she has, like her Kardashian sisters. On top of body modifications, Kylie is also known for wearing wigs most of the time. Though this might not be considered plastic, it isn't her natural hair, and since it's something about her appearance that she continues to customize, I think it sort of counts. A lot of people idolize Kylie for her looks, and a lot of people want to imitate her appearance, which could be detrimental to a lot of people's self-esteem. At number 9, The Weeknd. There was a period of time early this year when the public thought singer The Weeknd did the unthinkable and changed his entire appearance. This started when the singer was seen walking the red carpet at a couple couple music awards wearing bandages around his face and looking bruised as though he had just recently undergone cosmetic surgery. This speculation was heightened when he posted a photo to his social media showing his new look, as his face looked drastically different. Though we all thought that he had gotten some serious plastic surgery for a moment there, it turned out to all be just a publicity stunt to promote his newest album, After Hours. The album follows a narrative of a man's slow descent into madness while, quote, chasing excess and happiness in all the wrong places, end quote. In an interview, the singer elaborated on the stunt, saying, quote, the significance of the entire head bandages is reflecting on the absurd culture of Hollywood celebrity and people manipulating themselves for superficial reasons to please and be validated, end quote. He looked like he had just turned himself into plastic, but it wasn't real, and it was all just a take on how Hollywood turns people into plastic mannequins, and he wanted to expose this. Now, before I carry on with the video, I would like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also head on over to my gaming channel Viper Girl if you're interested in watching some fun gameplay as well. At number 8, Amanda Lepore. There are a lot of celebrities out there who try to hide the procedures they've had, but there's one person who embraces their changes, and that's Amanda Lepore. Amanda Lepore is a transgender model, performer, and now author who made a name for herself in Hollywood by just being herself. She was famous for just being herself long before Kim K ever came along. Much of Amanda's body has been altered over the years, as she claims to have the most expensive body on earth due to all of her surgeries. She's written and talked about all of the procedures that she's had done, and it's quite a long list. She's had a nose job, her hairline lowered, her eyebrows lifted, double eyelid surgery, cheekbone, lip and breast augmentation, gender confirmation surgery, hormones, and she even had one of her ribs broken and reshapen to alter the size of her waist. She's taken her body to the limit and back again. The most drastic procedure that she's had was getting silicone lip injections, because she said that she had gotten them done about 20 times and she went a little overboard, so she had to get them reduced. Amanda prides herself on being a living Barbie doll, and she really doesn't regret any of her decisions, even though they were all very expensive. To us, she may have gone too far with her look, but to Amanda, it's just right. At number 7, Zac Efron. Now, this one isn't exactly a confirmed plastic surgery case, but it is causing a lot of commotion. There's been a lot of speculations concerning Zac Efron's supposed new look, as people are saying that Zac Efron has gotten some work done. And by some, I mean a lot. Zac recently showed up in a video about Earth Day looking pretty different and pretty swollen. The lower half of his face was looking very puffy, almost like he had just gotten some Botox done or some kind of other procedure, and people are super confused. The internet has been debating whether or not he's gotten surgery, with some people chalking this all up to Zac simply having wisdom tooth surgery, using that to explain all of the puffiness, but others aren't so sure. According to one celebrity plastic surgeon, they think it looks like Zac may have gotten fillers to reshape his jawline, or that he had actually gone under the knife and that there was some residual swelling going on. It's just a very sudden change that a lot of people weren't expecting. Like I said before, no one knows if this new look is permanent or not, but for now, Zac is looking a little plasticky, and it's a strange look to get used to. At number 6, Priscilla Caputo. Priscilla Caputo might not be a celebrity in their traditional sense, since she didn't rise to fame because of her trade like modeling or acting, but she did gain fame because of her looks, just in a negative way. Priscilla was an aspiring model back in the day, but because she started getting plastic surgery, she was left an internet laughingstock, gaining fame because she had gone too far with her appearance. Priscilla explained that her boyfriend, who was a plastic surgeon, kept giving her lip fillers, and soon she became addicted and couldn't stop. Her lips became too big, and because of her appearance, her modeling career tanked. Things for her hit rock bottom after her photos were circulated online and she became an internet laughingstock. She became a model for what not to do. She said that looking at her past photos of herself with her lips done upsets her greatly, and that because of the damage that she's done to her lips, they will never be the same. She became plastic, and when it was all removed, she was left with the damage that her decisions had caused. Now she's an advocate against plastic surgery because she knows firsthand the ugly side of becoming plastic. At number 5, Barry Manilow. Some celebrities aren't shy about the work they've had done, and others go to great lengths to hide it. One celebrity who has continuously denied their plastic surgery is singer Barry Manilow, because even though there's a lot of proof to indicate that he's had work done, he still claims to be all natural. In an interview, Barry claimed to have only undergone surgeries and treatments for his health, like hip surgery and receiving steroid shots, but a lot of people aren't buying that and have pretty much revealed that he's lying about getting work done for cosmetic purposes. It's been reported over the years that Barry had undergone several procedures, including having had received a facelift in 1995, a second second facelift and eyelid surgery in 2003, and then a third facelift in 2005. There are even photos of Barry from 2003 showing him leaving a plastic surgeon's office in Beverly Hills. In the photos, he's shown wrapped up in bandages while wearing a disguise of sunglasses and a blonde wig in order to avoid being recognized. Because of the work that he's had done, a lot of people consider Barry as one of Hollywood's plastic celebrities. At number 4, Justin Jedlicka. Justin Jedlicka, also known as the real-life Ken doll, became famous because of his exaggerated looks. Justin has documented his transformation into plastic and isn't afraid of talking about the hundreds of procedures he's had. Yes, that is right, I said hundreds. Justin has estimated that he spent over $500,000 on his look, having received over 300 procedures and going under the knife over 100 times. Justin said that he became obsessed with his appearance after growing up watching the show Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous and recalling that everyone on that show had plastic surgery. He thought that this lifestyle meant that you were successful and made it his mission to look like a Ken doll. Now that's his persona and he's pretty happy with it. At number 3, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson lived a hugely successful life and he was known for a lot. He was famous for his music but also his appearance, as it changed drastically over the years. He went from being a young man with a darker complexion and a thick afro to being a pale man with thinning hair and skin. Though there have been sickening rumors around why Michael's look changed so much, most of the changes in his appearance were really due to his health. His change in complexion was due to his vitiligo, and his thinning hair was due to age as well as chemical bleaching. To counteract the effect his health was having on his complexion, Michael had turned to plastic surgery, which in the end didn't really aid in his appearance. The constant alterations done to his face in particular caused his skin to thin and wrinkle, which is added to the cycle of work, and his infamous nose job changed the proportions of his face as he was made to look bonier with his thin pointed nose. Over the years, Michael's appearance worsened with age as he tried to constantly make corrections, which really just worsened its outcome. The only thing that didn't age poorly about Michael was his musical abilities. Though his appearance and health deteriorated over the years, his legendary talent stayed awesome. At number 2, Donatella Versace. Sometimes going plastic makes things worse rather than better. Famous designer Donatella Versace has endured her fair share of criticisms in the past, from Family Matters to business decisions, but most of the criticism she's endured mostly pertains to her looks. Donatella's appearance has definitely evolved over time. She's been criticized a lot for her heavy plastic surgery and Botox, and people have even made comparison diagrams from what she looked like back in '97 when she first took over the Versace company after the death of her brother to now at the age of 66. People say that the work she's had done has made her appearance worse because the Botox and fillers she's received over the years has damaged her skin, and that her skin's elasticity is broken, leading her to look older. Because of this, she wants to get more Botox, and that cycle continues. The more work she has done, the worse her skin gets as a result. She's essentially turned herself into plastic, trying to correct the damage that has already been done. And finally, at number 1, Jocelyn Wildenstein. One of the most drastic celebrity appearances comes from socialite Jocelyn Wildenstein. Though she was a model back in the day, too much plastic surgery has altered her appearance forever to the point where she's mostly plastic. Jocelyn started changing her appearance to make her husband happy. She modeled her look after big cats because her late husband was a big cat lover. She reportedly kept a lynx as a pet and recalled that the big cat's eyes were perfect, and so she wanted to look just like it. Unfortunately, she went too far with her look. Over the years, she's gotten surgery on her eyes to make them look more cat-like, as well as receiving brow and facelifts, injections, implants, and more. She's become plastic, but she says that she's not done working on her look just yet. At number 10, Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag became a star when she was cast as a leading character on the MTV show The Hills. As a rising star in Hollywood, looks were always considered as one of the things that keeps your career afloat, and so there is a lot of pressure to look perfect. Heidi was obsessed with the idea of changing her look, as she once said, quote, "I didn't know what an eyebrow lift and a chin reduction was, so once he kind of told me everything that was wrong with me, I felt really insecure, and he gave me a really great deal on it all. He didn't tell me how extensive it was going to be, how severe, how painful, so I had no idea." Because of the insecurity she was facing both from being a public figure and from her doctor, Heidi ended up going under the knife for 10 plastic surgery sessions in just one day. When she later appeared on the cover of People magazine flaunting her new look and frankly looking completely different from her previous self, she told the publication conversation, quote, "I think I look way better and I'm way happier. Nobody ages perfectly, so I plan on using surgery to make me as perfect as I can be." Following the buzz she was getting from all of her surgeries, she definitely did gain lots of attention, both positive and negative. After all was said and done, Heidi did open up about how she does regret changing her body so drastically because of the impact that it had on her health. At number 9, Ashley Tisdale. Former Disney Channel star Ashley Tisdale is another celebrity who's gone plastic, but although she's made alterations to her body, she's also reversed the process and has spoken out about her decision to go plastic and back. In August 2010, Ashley took to her Instagram to get a little personal and open up about her decision to have her breast implants removed years after getting them done. Ashley told her fans how before she got them done, she felt really insecure about her body, going on to say that she felt as though getting this procedure done would help her make her feel better about herself, saying that for a short while this change did help boost her confidence, but there came a time where it wasn't enough. Ashley then opened up about how her implants began to negatively impact her health, saying, quote, "Little by little, I began struggling with minor health issues that just were not adding up. Food sensitivities as well as gut issues that I thought could be caused by my implants. So last winter, I decided to undergo implant removal," end quote. She then went on to credit this journey with her new confidence, saying, quote, "This journey has been one of growth, self-discovery, self-acceptance, and most importantly, self-love," end quote. Now, before I go any further, I would like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also check out my gaming channel Viper Girl if you're in the mood to enjoy some gaming content hosted by me. At number 8, Carrot Top. American comedian Carrot Top is pretty well known for his signature looks. No one can mistake Carrot Top, that's for sure. But over the years, there's been speculation that the comedian has undergone a few cosmetic surgeries that have him looking a little different. Though he's denied ever having received plastic surgery and mostly credits his looks to his gym habits, there are those who believe that there's something plasticky going on as well. It is believed that along with his workout regimen and quote-unquote juicing, the comedian has also received an eyebrow lift, Botox injections, lip filler, and laser peels, which many people see as a reason his freckles are less evident. He might never confirm all of this plastic speculation, but as long as he's happy with the way he looks, that's all that matters in the end. At number 7, Tyra Banks. For years, model Tyra Banks has been preaching about being all natural and loving yourself for who you are. She's pretty outspoken about being a natural beauty and embracing your true self, even going so far as to have a more inclusive cast on the last few seasons of her show America's Next Top Model to prove to the modeling and fashion industry that everyone is beautiful in their own way. Tyra once claimed that she was, quote, "totally against plastic surgery," and even hired a doctor to come on her talk show to perform a breast exam in front of her live studio audience to show that she had never gotten any work done like people had claimed. It seems, however, that things aren't exactly as they may seem, as though she shut down claims of breast augmentation, she isn't completely plastic free, as it was revealed that Tyra has actually gotten a nose job. Tyra finally came clean about her procedure in her memoir Perfect Is Boring, where she wrote, quote, "Natural beauty is unfair. I get really uncomfortable when women who are these natural beauties judge anybody who's done anything to themselves. I admit it. Fake hair and I did my nose. I feel I have a responsibility to tell the truth," end quote. Now, she is by no means as done up as other people on this list, but it does raise a question about authenticity. I think it's important to embrace yourself for everything. If you're all natural, cool. If not, cool. But it's important to say so, because younger people might look at you and think they're not as beautiful because they don't look as perfect. Meanwhile, you're hiding behind plastic surgery. It's just something to think about. At number 6, Cardi B. The WAP queen herself, Cardi B, has been very open about the plastic surgery procedures she's received over the years and how her body image was affected when she was younger. Cardi shared her experiences getting implants and a butt lift, saying that these procedures made her feel more confident in her skin. Cardi said that she wanted to get these procedures done because of how boys would ridicule her growing up. She told sources about those experiences, saying, quote, "Well, I'm from New York, right? And New York is a melting pot, especially where I grew up in the Bronx. I was really skinny when I was younger, and in the Bronx, it's about being thick and having an ass. So young boys would be like, look at your flat ass, you ain't got no titties. And it would make me feel so ugly and underdeveloped," end quote. When Cardi was 18, she became an adult dancer, if you understand where I'm going with that, and she was able to save enough money for her implants. When she later tried working for a different club, they basically told her that she needed a big booty to work there, and it made her insecurities step back in. She ended up saving again to get her butt lift done, and it made her feel happy. At number 5, Kris Jenner. Hollywood's hardest working momager, Kris Jenner, has been out here thriving with her celebrity family for years, but you know, being a celebrity comes with the pressures of looking top notch, and one of the things that affects most celebrities is the idea of aging. God forbid you have a wrinkle, right? Well, in order to correct that, many people get various plastic surgery procedures done to reverse the clock, and Kris Jenner is certainly no stranger to that. At 65 years young, Kris is still looking pretty fire for her age, but a lot of that credit has to go to her doctors as well. It's been reported that Kris has received a breast augmentation, chin lift, neck lift, facelift, lasers, Botox, and other injectables to create the ageless person that we see today. Unlike her daughters, Kris is pretty open about the procedures she's received, as she spilled some of her plastic surgery tea during a 2015 appearance on E's Good Work. She even spoke out about her journey with her breast augmentation, saying that she got implants in the 80s and thought they were great, but 2 decades later she resized them because she thought they were too big. Kris also documented the process of her looking into getting a neck lift on Keeping Up with the Kardashians back in 2011. She isn't shy about her life and cosmetic journey, and I respect that about Mama Kris. At number 4, Sharon Osbourne. 68-year-old Sharon Osbourne is no stranger to getting procedures done to alter her look. In the past, it's been reported that she's received multiple facelifts, tummy tucks, leg and arm lifts, a neck lift, breast augmentation, Botox, and other injectables. In 1999, her biggest physical transformation came after getting lap band surgery, which caused her to lose over 100 pounds. She is also very open about her plastic surgery. During a segment on the show The View last year, Sharon opened up about her most recent facelift and some of her other procedures, where she said that she supports people changing their appearance, saying, quote, "If you're not happy with the way you look and you have the money, change it. What's the big deal? As long as you don't look like you sucked on something to make your lips big, there's nothing wrong with it." She also opened up about her most recent procedure, where she highlighted the pain she was in afterwards, where she said, quote, "Kelly, her daughter, told me that when I came out of surgery, I was going, help me, help me." I mean, she looks pretty good, but was that amount of pain worth it? What do you guys think? At number 3, Nene Leakes. Reality TV star Nene Leakes has always been very vocal about the work she's had done. From getting liposuction, a nose job, and breast augmentation surgery, she really wasn't hiding anything. It seemed that she was proud to flaunt the money she spent on herself, which she has every right to do. If that's what makes you feel confident, then go for it. But it seems as though she completely forgot she was pretty plastic and began denying her procedures. In 2011, she went on the Wendy Williams show and talked about how she was all for getting work done and spoke about how she was thinking of getting Botox in the future. But fast forward 2 years to 2013, and Nene sat down for another interview, this time with Bethany Frankel, and straight up denied ever having received plastic surgery. Everyone knew about her past procedures and that she had gotten some fillers, so when she claimed to be natural, saying, quote, "Why would I need plastic surgery?" people were super confused and caught her in her lie. Just be proud of your body, whether it's bought or grown. At number 2, Cher. I'm sorry, Lucy, but I had to include the queen on this list. If there is one person that I want to look like when I'm 75, it's Cher. Yes, she's had plastic surgery and there is a long list of things that she's had done, but she still looks immaculate, and I need to know who her doctor is. Over the years, Cher has received a neck lift, multiple facelifts, cheek implants, breast augmentation, liposuction, Botox, other injectables, and lasers. But even after all that, her doctors still can't get over how good she looks. One of the world's top plastic surgeons commented on how good Cher looks after all the work she's had done, where he said, quote, "Cher has managed to conserve her natural beauty and basically looks as good as she did 20 years ago. This is definitely not something easy to achieve, but completely possible with the current technology and surgical techniques available on the market. It is always a challenge to be able to do so without altering the natural face features." Even my mom wants Cher's doctor's number, so if anyone has that information, hit me up. And finally, at number 1, Dolly Parton. Let's talk about the Moderna queen herself, Dolly Parton. Dolly is very well known for her appearance as much as she is known for her music. Over the years, Dolly has received a breast augmentation, obviously, as well as a brow lift, multiple facelifts, eye lifts, chin augmentation, rhinoplasty, Botox, and other injectables. Even though she has changed her appearance a lot over the years and is still pretty plastic, Dolly embraces that part of herself, where she even once said, quote, "I ain't got time to be old, I'm gonna look like a cartoon." Dolly has never been afraid to talk about her surgeries. Even when she's told that she looks like $1 million, she jokingly replies saying that's how much it cost. Even at 75 years young, she still says that she's not done working on her look. She will keep investing in herself, and that's a pretty good mentality to have. She doesn't care about what people think about her appearance, it is only her own opinion that truly matters. At number 10, Amanda Lepore. American model and socialite Amanda Lepore is one person person who isn't shy at all about the plastic surgeries that she's had. The transgender model, performer, and now author, who made a name for herself in Hollywood just by being herself, altered a lot of her body over the years, and she's even claimed to have the most expensive body on earth due to all of her surgeries. She's written and talked about all of the procedures she's had done, and it's quite a long list. She's had a nose job, her hairline lowered, her eyebrows lifted, double eyelid surgery, cheekbone, lip and breast augmentation, gender confirmation surgery, hormones, and she even had her ribs broken and reshaped to alter the size of her waist. She's taken her body to the limit and back again. There came a moment where she really overdid one of her procedures and got seriously botched. The drastic procedure that led her to getting botched was getting silicone lip injections, because she said that since she had gotten them done about 20 times and went a little overboard, she had to get them reduced because they just got way too big. A lot of people think that she's botched more than just her lips because of how drastic and plastic her looks are, but they're so out there that I think it's almost normal because that's just who she is, and if she's happy with it, then there's nothing left to say. At number 9, Zac Efron. Now this one isn't exactly a confirmed case of botched plastic surgery, but it sure is causing a lot of commotion because people think it might be. A lot of people have been throwing around a lot of speculation and concern regarding Zac Efron and his appearance. Zac recently showed up in a video about Earth Day looking pretty swollen, and a lot of people think that is the result of a plastic surgery gone wrong. In the video, the lower half of his face was looking very puffy, almost like he had gotten a lot of Botox done or some other kind of procedure, and a lot of people are super concerned that Zac might have taken his looks too far. According to one celebrity plastic surgeon, they think that it looks like Zac may have gotten fillers to reshape his jawline, or that he had actually gone under the knife and that there was some residual swelling going on. If that's the case, then we don't know if this puffy look is here to stay or not. It's all just a very sudden change that a lot of people weren't expecting, and a lot of people are just looking for answers. Now before I carry on with the list, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also check out my gaming channel Viper Girl if you're interested in enjoying some cool gameplay content, and subscribe while you're there. At number 8, Priscilla Caputo. Priscilla Caputo rose to fame for being botched, so I feel like she's perfect for this list. Back in the day, Priscilla was an aspiring model, but her modeling career was very short-lived because she took her looks too far and got botched, stopping her career dead in its tracks. She was left an internet laughingstock, gaining fame because she had gone too far with her appearance, and now she's an advocate against getting plastic surgery. Priscilla explained that her boyfriend, who was a plastic surgeon, kept giving her lip fillers, and soon she became addicted and couldn't stop. Her lips became too big, and because of her appearance, her modeling career tanked. After her photos were circulated online, she became an internet laughingstock, and she couldn't go back and fix her lips because she had injected so much into them that she permanently stretched them out, and the damage was just too much to repair. In a way, her modeling career turned her into an example of what not to do when getting injections. At number 7, Donatella Versace. Even though she's the head of the Versace company, Donatella Versace's appearance has her looking a little worse for wear, as she's become an example of what happens when getting plastic surgery makes you look worse rather than better. Because of the amount of procedures Donatella has received over the years, many people have said that she's been botched. She's been criticized a lot for her heavy plastic surgery and Botox use, with some people even making comparison diagrams of her look from back in '97 when she took over the Versace company after the death of her brother to now in 2021. Some say that because of all the work she's had done in an attempt to make her look younger, these procedures have made her appearance worse because the Botox and fillers she received over the years has damaged her skin. Some plastic surgeons have commented on Donatella's appearance, saying that as a result of all the fillers, nips, and tucks, her skin's elasticity has broken, leading her to looking older. Because of this, she'd want to continue getting Botox, and so the cycle continues. The more work she has done, the worse her skin gets, and as a result, it leads her to looking more and more botched. At number 6, Carrot Top. American comedian Carrot Top is pretty well known for his signature looks. With his bright orange hair and crazy expressions, no one can mistake him, that's for sure. However, over the years, there's been speculation that the comedian has undergone a few cosmetic surgeries that have him looking a little different, and some say that he's been botched. Though he's denied ever having received plastic surgery and mostly credits his looks to his gym habits, there are others out there who believe that there's something a little artificial that the comedian has been hiding from his fans. It's believed that the comedian has received an eyebrow lift, Botox injections, lip filler, and laser peels, which many people see as the reason that his freckles are less evident. Because of the fillers and lifts, a lot of people think that his face has been left looking a little too stiff and fake, leading fans to label him as botched. But what do you guys think? Is he botched or not? At number 5, Jennifer Grey. Imagine watching your career tank after getting plastic surgery. Well, that's what happened with actress Jennifer Grey, as getting a nose job was one of the worst mistakes of her career. Jennifer Grey became super well known after her role in Dirty Dancing, but after her rhinoplasty, things went south. She wasn't necessarily botched from the surgery itself, as everything went according to plan, but maybe things just went a little too well. After getting surgery, her nose looked very different to how it looked before, and it completely changed her face. As a result, Jennifer found herself struggling to book roles and getting less and less work. Everyone knew her for her face, but since it changed, she became almost unrecognizable, and that wasn't good for her career. When speaking out about the procedure, she called it the quote, nose job from hell, because it pretty much just botched her career. She thought that altering her nose would make things better for her, but instead it made things worse. At number 4, Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox, best known for her iconic role as Monica Geller on Friends, became the unfortunate victim of botched Botox, and since then the actress has sworn off any kind of cosmetic procedures. Courtney has said in interviews that some doctors started suggesting that she gets fillers here and there, and after one too many pokes, she was left looking more plastic than human and totally botched. Courtney was led down a dark path of cosmetic alterations to make herself look more youthful, but in the end, the actress said that these procedures just led her to feeling more and more unhappy with her appearance. It was a vicious cycle. The fillers got so intense that Courtney eventually said enough is enough and got all of the fillers in her face dissolved. Because she was left looking so unlike herself after getting botched, Courtney says that she now prefers to be all natural, embracing her natural beauty. The takeaway from this is to only trust your own opinions and judgments and to not listen to other people's opinions on how you should look. At number 3, Jocelyn Wildenstein. When you look up the most drastic celebrity appearances, a photo of Jocelyn Wildenstein will no doubt show up in your search. Her looks are a prime example of someone taking plastic surgery way too far. Though she was a model back in the day, too much plastic surgery has altered her appearance forever to the point where she's mostly plastic and mostly botched. Jocelyn apparently started changing her appearance to make her husband happy, and she even modeled her look after big cats because her late husband was a big cat lover. She reportedly kept a lynx as a pet and said that because she thought the big cat's eyes were so perfect, she wanted to look just like it. Unfortunately, she went too far with her look. Over the years, she's gotten surgery on her eyes to make them look more cat-like, as well as receiving brow and facelifts, injections, implants, and more. She's left looking nothing like she did before all the surgery, with her entire face being remade into something completely new and unnatural. Even though her appearance is quite drastic, Jocelyn has said that she's not done altering her looks, but honestly, I don't know if it can get any more botched. But if it works for her, then I guess that's what matters. At number 2, Farrah Abraham. Teen Mom star Farrah Abraham has been under the knife a number of times, but it just takes that one horrible moment to make you rethink all of your plastic surgery choices. You might have seen the infamous photo of Farrah Abraham's botched lip procedure, but let me tell you the story of how she got into that mess. In 2015, the reality star opened up about how she had a negative experience when she went under the knife for an experimental lip implant procedure. Farrah said that when she got the procedure done, she knew very quickly that something was wrong when the anesthesia just wasn't working for her. She didn't do much about that, but after the procedure was done and the implant was put in, that's when things started to take a turn for the worse. Turns out Farrah had an intense reaction to something during the procedure that caused her lip to swell up like crazy, leading to those crazy pictures. Luckily, she was able to get things sorted out and her lip went back to normal, but she did say that this was a really scary experience. And finally, at number 1, Tara Reid. Hollywood's it girl Tara Reid was making it big in the industry. That is until she got a botched plastic surgery that derailed her career. In 2004, Tara wanted to get some work done to her body and she received a few surgeries. She got breast implants and underwent a procedure called liposculpting where things went horribly wrong. After these procedures, she was left disfigured, describing some of the aftermath saying, quote, "My stomach became the mostly ripply, bulgy thing. I had a hernia, this huge bump next to my belly button. As a result, I couldn't wear a bikini. I lost a lot of work." end quote. Things got even worse for her after a wardrobe malfunction at Diddy's 35th birthday in 2004 exposed her botched body to the world. A lot of people online ended up body shaming the actress, making the situation so much harder to deal with. Even though she was able to correct the mistakes done to her appearance 2 years later, the damage was already done to her public image and career, showing us that not only was her body botched, but her career as well. At number 10, Dana Delaney. So many people out there are getting Botox. I actually read an article recently talking about how a lot of young adults are starting to get fillers even though they don't really need to. Getting injectables seems to be the newest trend, probably because it's one of the least invasive plastic surgery procedures that you can receive. But just because it's not a serious surgery doesn't mean there aren't any risks, and Desperate Housewives actress Dana Delaney can tell you all about it. Dana opened up about one of the worst procedures she's received and one of people's biggest nightmares being doctor error. In 2003, Dana decided to go in and receive some Botox injections after her dermatologist convinced her to try it out. Well, she went in for the procedure and things went horribly wrong when the doctor performing the procedure injected the needle into the wrong place in her forehead and actually caused quite a bit of damage. When he injected it in her forehead, the needle ended up striking a nerve. This then created a huge hematoma and it actually ended up killing the nerve that was struck. Unfortunately for Dana, this mistake was pretty serious because it ended up affecting the muscle in her right eye, which caused her eye to droop down slightly. Dana spoke out about the experience saying, quote, "I noticed it more than anyone else, but I was symmetrical before and now I'm not," end quote. This procedure marked the first and last time she got any kind of plastic surgery done because she didn't want to risk getting botched again. At number 9, Yolanda Hadid. A lot of people have come out in the past saying that some of the plastic surgery procedures that they've received have had negative effects on their health, and it seems like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Yolanda Hadid has been dealing with similar issues. In the past, Yolanda had been very open about her Lyme disease, and she's also talked about how the implants, fillers, and Botox she had been causing her symptoms to worsen and how her illness would cause complications with these procedures. In 2015, Yolanda made the decision to have her implants removed after it was discovered that one of them had popped and was actually leaking silicone into her chest cavity. Later on, the reality star also made the decision to have her fillers dissolved as well. When explaining her decision to reverse the cosmetic procedures she had received over the years, she took to her Instagram where she went to caption a selfie saying, quote, "Living in a body free of breast implants, fillers, Botox, extensions, and all the stuff I thought I needed in order to keep up with what society conditioned me to believe what a sexy woman should look like until all the toxicity of it all almost killed me." In this case, it wasn't a doctor who botched the results of these procedures, but it was Yolanda's own body and health issues who caused the problems. Now, before I carry on with the list, I would like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far. And also, if you're interested in watching Minecraft gameplay, then you should totally check out my gaming channel, Viper Girl. New videos are uploaded every day, so there's always something new and exciting to enjoy. At number 8, Ashley Tisdale. Here's another celebrity whose own body sort of botched their plastic surgery results. Former Disney Channel star Ashley Tisdale is another celebrity who's gone plastic and has experienced health complications as a result. When Ashley first got implants, she received the results that she was looking for. Ashley told her fans how before she got them done, she felt really insecure about her body, saying that she felt as though getting this procedure done would make her feel better about herself. Although this augmentation did boost her confidence for a while, Ashley said that there soon came a time where the implants started to negatively affect her life and her health, saying, quote, "Little by little, I began struggling with minor health issues that just weren't adding up. Food sensitivities as well as gut issues that I thought could be caused by my implants," end quote. The actress continued talking about how she made the decision to remove her implants to save herself from her health complications. Even though she walked away from the initial procedure with a good result, her health is what really got botched in the process. At number 7, Justin Jedlicka. Justin Jedlicka, also known as the real-life Ken doll, got famous because he was on the show Botched and became a fan favorite, so obviously I had to include him in this list. Justin became famous because of his exaggerated looks, because he made it his life's mission to become a real-life Ken doll. For him, the more plastic he looks, the better. Justin was on the show very early on in the show's first season, making his debut in the series' first episode. He said that he's received about 1,000 surgeries to achieve the look that he has now, and there's no sign of stopping his transformation anytime soon. Justin has said that he became obsessed with his appearance after growing up watching the show, The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and recalling that everyone on that show had plastic surgery. He thought that this lifestyle meant that you were successful and made it his mission to look like a Ken doll. Over the years, he's received some wild procedures to achieve all sorts of results, and if you want to know the craziest procedure, then you'll have to look that one up yourself because that one is certainly NSFW. At number 6, Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne looks pretty good these days, but the talk show host has credited most of that to her plastic surgery that she's received over the years. Sharon has been pretty open about the procedures that she's had done and is also someone who encourages others to invest in their looks too. In the past, it's been reported that she's received multiple facelifts, leg and arm lifts, a neck lift, breast augmentation, Botox, and other injectables. But even after everything she's had done and the support she has for other people who go under the knife, she's also said that there are some procedures that she regrets because she thinks that she may have been botched. When talking about her facelift, she said that there are some angles where she looks a little too plastic for her liking, and she said, quote, "In a lot of shots, my face looks plastic, and at certain angles, I was like, oh dear, I should not have done that. Ooh, that's a bad one," end quote. She seems to be pretty happy with her appearance for the most part, but she's also said she doesn't want to put her face through any more pain over fears of going too far with her looks. At number 5, Mickey Rourke. For a long time, people have made some pretty harsh comments about Mickey Rourke's face. In his early career, he was praised for his baby face and boyish charm, but now, not so much. A lot of people believe that he doesn't look anything like he used to, and a lot of that has to do with his botched plastic surgery. Mickey has spoken out about his altered appearance, saying that boxing is really what caused things to go downhill for him. Because he went in for reconstructive surgery from things that had been damaged through boxing, his face just never been the same. Speaking further on this, Mickey said, quote, "Most of it was to mend the mess of my face because of boxing, but I went to the wrong guy to put my face back together. I had my nose broken twice, I had 5 operations on my nose and 1 on my smashed cheekbone," end quote. If Mickey had gone to someone else for these procedures, maybe things would have been different. At number 4, Lisa Rinna. Sometimes it's the doctors who cause you to get botched, and sometimes it's your own actions. Reality star Lisa Rinna once said that she got botched when using Botox because she went overboard with the procedure and took her looks too far. She's spoken out about her bad decisions when it comes to plastic surgery, and needless to say, she's not happy with it. Lisa said that she got Botox in her cheeks because all of her friends were getting it done and she wanted to try it out for herself, but after getting it all done, Lisa said, quote, "I saw a photo and was like, oh Jesus, that's no good. That's not good," end quote. Lisa has since learned from her mistake, saying, quote, "I learned less is more. Keep your skin good, but I still like Botox. It's great. It doesn't change the shape of my face. When you change your face, you don't look like yourself. Looking fresher is one thing. I look like a freak," end quote. At number 3, Jamie Lee Curtis. This one actually surprised me a lot because I never actually knew Jamie Lee Curtis had gone under the knife, but apparently it happened and it wasn't cute. The actress opened up about a procedure that she had received before shooting a movie where she got the fat taken out from underneath her eyes because she said she was looking puffy. Well, it turns out that she got a little botched and her looks weren't too great because when she got to set to start filming the movie, the cameraman actually said that he couldn't shoot her anymore. Jamie recalled feeling super embarrassed because she had changed her looks too much. She also said that she was unaware of the fact that when you take fat from one area of your body, it, quote, "comes back in another place." Jamie took this botched experience as a learning moment and never tried a procedure like that again. At number 2, Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag is pretty well known for her dramatic plastic surgery. In 2010, Heidi took her looks and body to the limit and underwent 10 procedures in the same day. The procedures that she received were a neck liposuction, a brow lift, a nose job revision, a chin reduction, getting her ears pinned back, a second breast augmentation, fat injections in her cheek, liposuction in her waist, hips, and inner thighs, Botox in her forehead, and butt implants. So there was a lot going on that day. In the aftermath of her dramatic transformation, Heidi opened up about her procedures and her regrets and what went wrong. She said that her breast augmentation went too far as she made her chest too heavy for the rest of her body, and as if that wasn't bad enough, this long day of surgery took such a huge toll on her body that she actually flatlined for a minute during surgery. Heidi also said that these procedures left her with some pretty gnarly scarring as well. After all of this work, not only was her appearance botched, but her career as well, as she ended up losing a lot of work because of this drastic change. And finally, at number 1, Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley, the wife of the late Elvis Presley, suffered through a plastic surgery nightmare when she went in to receive injectables from an unreliable source. Priscilla had begun dabbling in plastic surgery, undergoing a few procedures such as injections and facelifts, but when she fell victim to an unlicensed cosmetic surgeon, that's where things got serious. This unlicensed professional gave Priscilla injections in her cheeks and used products and techniques that were unapproved. To make matters worse, it turns out that the silicone that the doctor used on Priscilla was similar to that which mechanics use for car parts. Thankfully, Priscilla got her justice on the person who performed these procedures and they got jail time, but Priscilla as well as a handful of other people were left as botched victims of this mad doctor.
Kicking off this list is Jocelyn Wildenstein. She's an American socialite but is known for her extensive cosmetic surgery which resulted in her cat-like appearance. During an interview with Dr. Young, a popular celebrity plastic surgeon, he said, "Jocelyn is a poster child for plastic surgery gone wrong. Reports say that she underwent dozens of surgeries in an attempt to win back her husband, Alec Wildenstein, after her divorce from the billionaire was heavily documented." Dr. Young thinks she might have undergone a brow lift, facelift, lip plumping injections, chin augmentation, fat grafting and/or cheek implants, upper and lower eyelid surgery, and canthopexy, which is a procedure that gives your eyes that cat-like appearance. However, Jocelyn has always denied getting any plastic surgery and says that she has always looked this way, despite photos completely proving that otherwise. Up next, number 9 is Tara Reid. Most of us would look at her in the American Pie movies and say she looks absolutely perfect. There is no denying that she is a total babe. But in 2006, she decided she wanted to get some plastic surgery and got a procedure called liposculpting, which ended up going horribly wrong. She has openly talked about it and said the surgery completely botched her stomach. She even went as far as saying it was the reason that she couldn't book any movie roles after that. During an interview in 2007, she said, "My stomach became the most ripply bulgy thing. I had a hernia, this huge bump next to my belly button. As a result, I couldn't wear a bikini. I lost a lot of work." Tara also admitted that her breast implants were botched by the same doctor and she was left with deformed nipples. Honestly, what a nightmare. I mean, maybe the first time you should have learned not to use the same doctor. I'd be suing. I'll tell you that much. Swiping the number 8 spot is Carrot Top. The comedian's real name is Scott Thompson, but he got the nickname through his stand-up comedy career. Over the years, people have accused him of getting plastic surgery, which he has always denied. Whenever he's been asked about it during an interview, he always says that it is makeup that makes him look so different. But Dr. Young has given his professional opinion. He said Carrot Top is looking more and more like a muscle-bound cartoon character. He seems to have an excessively arched brow and a smooth face, possibly the result of laser treatments or chemical peels. So there is no confirming that he has had any work done. If he says he hasn't, like, we might want to believe him, but there is a huge difference when looking at old pictures and new ones. It honestly just looks like every part of, like, every feature is just glued in place. Like, it's very, you know what I'm trying to say there? In spot number 7 is Heidi Montag. The Hill star could now be called the plastic surgery queen because she did what seemed like the impossible and underwent 10 surgeries at one time. And I'm not talking about like cosmetic procedures like little fillers, I am talking about full out surgeries. Heidi openly talked about it and revealed at one point that she was almost dead on the table and they didn't know if she would make it out alive. The long list of surgeries include a brow lift, Botox in her face, a nose job, a chin reduction, fat injection in the cheeks, ears pinned back, nasolabial folds, lip, neck, waist, hip, and thigh liposuction, breast implants to a size F, a butt augmentation, and her back curved. Honestly, half this list I didn't even know you could do to your body. Heidi said at the time she wanted to look like Barbie, and she actually wanted size H breasts, H for Heidi she said, but they wouldn't fit. However, now she fully regrets her surgeries and said that she would never do it again and does not wish that upon anyone. Moving on to number 6, we have Mickey Rourke. At one point in time, he was being called the next Marlon Brando and was starring in movies like Body Heat and Angel Heart. But his looks have changed drastically, and not in a bad way, it's just different than what we're used to seeing. In 2017, pictures of his new look went viral and had people shocked at how unrecognizable he was. He's opened up about the surgeries and said it was all a result of injuries that he got from his time as a boxer. He said, "Most of it was to mend my face, but I went to the wrong guy to put my face back together. I had my nose broken twice, I had 5 operations on my nose and 1 on my smashed cheekbone." It has been an ongoing debate on whether it was for injuries or cosmetic reasons, but to me it kind of sounds like a mix of both. Like, because of the injuries, he probably wanted some like cosmetic help, you know, to fix things. Halfway through the list, number 5 is Rodrigo Alves. He is famous because of his plastic surgery transformation, as he transformed basically into a human Ken doll. He became a television personality, and as of 2018, he had undergone more than 103 cosmetic procedures. 51 of them were plastic surgeries. But not all of his surgeries went smoothly, and one of them in 2018 left him with a sinking nose. He explained to his followers that he had 11 nose jobs over the years and that his nose is basically just collapsing. Now, I should mention that he has recently transitioned into a female and prefers to go by the name Roddy. During an interview in January, she said that she regrets the plastic surgery as the Ken doll because she just got it to try and make herself more manly to fight her feelings of wanting to become a woman. Next up at number 4 is Kenny Rogers. Back in 2006, he told People magazine that he was not happy with his plastic surgery after his eye lift procedure. He said that it drove him crazy. His eye lift basically tightened his eyelids and it almost pinned them like in a new place on his face. Dr. Young spoke on his procedure and said, "Kenny Rogers gambled with plastic surgery and lost. With his tight eyelids, he no longer looks like the scruffy, masculine man we knew in the 70s. He does look different when comparing before and after pictures, but I honestly don't think the surgery looks that bad. Like, it's not as intense as other ones that we've seen on this list, but I get what they mean. It does look maybe a little more feminine, people would say." In the 3rd spot is Pete Burns. The singer from Dead or Alive sadly passed away in 2016, and before his death, he revealed that his plastic surgery almost killed him. During an interview, he opened up about his plastic surgery, saying he had more than 300 procedures done, which led him to almost dying just 3 weeks before his actual death of cardiac arrest. A month before that, he went on the TV show Botched Up Bodies, where he revealed that he went into depression because of his botched procedures. He ended up with blood clots and pulmonary embolisms in his heart, legs, and lungs, which left him close to death. The doctor actually told his family that there was a 2% chance of survival, and his family called in a priest thinking that they would lose him. He was in the hospital for 10 days before he had recovered. Making her way into number 2 is Donatella Versace. She is the chief designer and vice president of Versace with a company value of $2 billion. She is 65 years old and continues to deny having any kind of work done to her face, but people have been calling her out on it for years, even doctors. She looks drastically different and says that it is because she uses a lot of creams and good face products. She did admit to some Botox, but says there has not been anything else, so I will let you guys be your own judge. Dr. Young says that she developed something called a trout pout, which is when your top lip is bigger than your bottom lip. Naturally, the human body's bottom lip is normally 50% bigger, but he says it would be reversed if you had fillers and other work done on the face. Earning the number 1 spot is Michael Jackson. After his death, we heard from people we did not expect. His plastic surgeon through the 1980s and 90s, Stephen M. Hoffman, and his dermatologist, Arnold Klein. There were many theories going around at the time about the reasoning behind his drastic transformation. Arnold explained that he had body dysmorphic disorder and saw his nose as getting fatter even though it was getting smaller. Michael always said he only had 2 nose jobs done, but the experts said it's impossible for one's nose to look like that after just 2. He actually estimated that he had closer to 20 procedures done to his nose over the years. An expert also said that he had his hairline, eyebrows, and eyelash lines tattooed, as well as using a skin lightening bleaching cream. Now I know this whole bleaching thing has always been a very big debate because Michael said that he never used that, so I'm not trying to accuse anyone of anything. This is just from an expert standpoint. They think that he used a bleaching cream. Like, that's crazy that that even exists. Beginning our list, number 10 is Yolanda Hadid. In case you're wondering how Bella and Gigi Hadid turned out to be so beautiful, that's where Yolanda comes in. Their mom was once a model herself and also starred on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's been open about her battle with Lyme disease, which caused a lot of health issues for her due to her breast implants and fillers in her face. Her implants were removed in 2015 after doctors discovered one implant had ruptured and was leaking silicone into her chest cavity, which was aggravating her Lyme disease symptoms. She didn't explain what caused the implant to rupture. Sometimes with bad plastic surgery, it can just happen as like a freak accident, but she ended up removing everything from her body and shared a photo of her results on Instagram. She shared an empowering photo of her at 55 years old in lingerie, saying that she removed all implants, Botox, and fillers and has never felt better. She looks so good. She never needed them because she looks phenomenal. Coming in at number 9 is Jessica Simpson. She revealed a lot about her personal life in January of 2020 when she released her memoir titled Open Book. She shared some of her struggles like her addiction to alcohol, but she also opened up about her experience with plastic surgery. In 2015, she had 2 tummy tuck surgeries which left her with some complications after the second procedure. She explained why she got it in the first place and said, "I wanted to get rid of the stretch marks and loose skin left sagging from my back-to-back pregnancy. I was so ashamed of my body at this point that I wouldn't let Eric see me without a t-shirt on." Eric being her husband. Turns out she got an infection from one of the surgeries and she was in the hospital for 9 days. She was vomiting so much that doctors thought she was gonna burst something and told her that she might need a blood transfusion. Coming into number 8 is Axl Rose. The Guns N' Roses singer disappeared in the mid-90s when the band started to fall apart, but he returned down the road with a completely new look. He hasn't been very open about his surgery experience and has always dodged the rumors, but fans were quick to point out how different his face looks. They think it was his transformation that actually had him in hiding all those years before releasing a new album with Guns N' Roses in 2008, which was 15 years after they had first fallen out. With his disappearance and the new look, reports were made that he had some work done and also Botox and hair transplants. I mean, there's no denying it. He looks very different. Sliding into number 7 is Dana Delany. The Desperate Housewives actress wishes she could undo some of the work she's had done. That's how bad her experience was. One of the procedures in particular was a nightmare for her. She told Prevention magazine in 2010 that her dermatologist injected Botox in her forehead and hit a nerve which created a huge hematoma. She said, "The nerve has been dead ever since. It affected the muscle in my right eye, so my eye has started to droop a little. I noticed it more than anybody else, but I was symmetrical before and now I am not." We might not be able to tell the mistakes made in her transformation, but I can imagine how awful that would feel to like look in the mirror every day and not see yourself as symmetrical or not being happy with the procedure. I looked at her pictures. I don't notice anything. Up next, number 6 is Joan Van Ark. Jaws dropped earlier this year when the 76-year-old actress showed up to an event in January 2020 and her face looked like it had melted off. Those were the words from a witness who did an interview with Globe. She was once the leading face of primetime soap operas before she made some adjustments to her face. According to a few surgeons, she had several surgeries on her face, including eyelid reconstruction and chemical peels. Apparently she had some issues after some of her procedures, so she went back to try and fix them, but then it only made it worse, which eventually led to her skin looking like it was melting off her face. Now, I've seen some pictures, and I don't know if it's right to say it looks like it's melting off. Her skin doesn't look real, it looks a little waxy, so maybe that's what they mean. Like, it really doesn't look real. Halfway through at number 5 is Farrah Abraham. Even if you don't follow her career closely, you've probably seen some of the photos when she had a procedure done on her face and was left with massive lips. Her photos made the cover of magazines, which is probably the last thing she wanted. The Teen Mom star is known for her plastic surgery and massive transformation, looking like a completely different person than when she was introduced on MTV's show 16 and Pregnant. Her entire body is plastic, and she openly admits that. But one facial procedure, lip injections, left her completely botched and tripled her lip size. Turns out she had a really bad allergic reaction, even though it was not her first time getting them done. It's hard to say who's to blame for the blow up, but it hasn't stopped her from going back and getting more. So, couldn't have been that bad. She did look like Donald Duck for some time though. Cruising to number 4 is Michaela Romanini. For many years she was one of Italy's biggest stars and was titled one of the most beautiful women in the country. But then she got a ton of plastic surgery and was left looking completely unrecognizable. Reports have said that she doesn't regret any of the procedures, despite the media outlets saying that she looks like an alien. Plastic surgery soon became an addiction to her after she became obsessed with lip collagen injections. Her lips are so big that it's honestly hard to believe you can fit any more collagen in there. I'm not kidding. But you won't convince her of that because she still goes on and on. In the 3rd spot is Reed Ewing. The actor is known for playing Dylan in the ABC comedy Modern Family and also Charlie in the TV series Zeke and Luther. In 2015 he opened up about his plastic surgery transformation and said he underwent surgery because he had body dysmorphia. He said he regrets it more than anything and wishes he never did it. It all started in 2008 when he was just 19 years old. He made his first appointment to meet with a cosmetic surgeon. He said that doctor convinced him that large cheek implants would fix the issue in his face, but when he woke up from surgery he was screaming in pain. He went back to another doctor 6 months later to get it fixed, and over the next few years he continued to get more procedures done. He ended up going into depression, he says, and was dealing with a lot of mental health issues and an eating disorder. He actually went into hiding after the surgeries, but the photos of him now, all these years later, he really doesn't look bad at all. So it all worked out. Taking over the number 2 spot is Jennifer Grey. You may have heard her story on our other list because her surgery experience was so bad that she greatly regrets it more than anything in her life. She says her plastic surgery is what ruined her entire career. The Dirty Dancing star has always had a distinctive face and often booked roles because of it. But when she decided to get rhinoplasty, it changed everything, and she said it was the worst decision that she's ever made. She said the operation completely changed her face and she was unable to book roles after that. When speaking about it during an interview, she said, "I went in the operating room as a celebrity and came out anonymous. It was like being in a witness protection program or being invisible. I'll always be this once famous actress nobody recognizes because of my nose job." By no means does she look ugly. I have looked at pictures. However, I get what she's saying because when you compare it to her before and after photos, she does look like a different person. In the number 1 spot is Amanda Lepore. The famous transgender diva got herself the title of a moving sculpture after the many plastic surgeries she had done. She's always been very open and honest about her transformation and has no problem flaunting her very plastic surgery journey. To sum it up quickly, she had alterations done to basically every part that the body could physically have done. She has had booty silicone injections, a nose job, a facelift, her hairline lowered, cheek fillers, breast implants, and to get an hourglass figure, she even had her bottom ribs broken. It has been reported that the total cost of all her cosmetic procedures is over $1 million. But she loves that people tell her she looks like a doll. She actually wrote a book called Doll Parts where she shares every detail about her journey as a transgender beauty queen. Jocelyn Wildenstein, also known as Catwoman, has caused a huge debate with her drastic transformation, and we are taking a look at her journey from how she looked then versus now and what exactly changed along the way. I'm your host for this one, Joss Bedard. Thanks for coming back to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and leave us a like because it really helps us out. The 80-year-old socialite has been known for her highly publicized divorce settlement and for her changing face, which earned her the nickname Catwoman. She was awarded $2.5 billion from her former husband, Alec Wildenstein. Their divorce was famous in the 1990s and was one of the biggest divorce settlements in history. But the huge divorce payout was not the only thing that got her worldwide fame. So did her drastic plastic surgery transformation. Her transformation has been widely reported, and reports say that she had made the changes to her face in order to allegedly please her husband. She has denied these claims, but that does not stop people from making harsh claims against her feline features. There is more that meets the eye though. She has had a pretty amazing life that not a lot of people take the time to learn about. She was born in Switzerland and had a middle-class upbringing up until the age of 17 when she made the decision to move to Paris. She began dating a Swiss movie producer, and after 2 years together they moved to Paris. That is when she said her life completely changed and she was first introduced to that glamorous lifestyle. She told New York Magazine that she never intended to pursue a career, but that she had a rare talent of decorating, so she calls it, and that she loved to do it. Later on, she dated another filmmaker for 5 years, Sergio Gabi, and spent a lot of her time exploring Africa. Before she knew it, her life as a socialite began to move in elite circles across the world. In 1997, when she was on a safari with friends in Kenya, she was introduced to her future husband, at the time, Alec, who came from a family of art collectors and horse racing experts. Because of her love for decorating, it is no surprise that they could both admire art together. The two of them eloped in Las Vegas in 1978 and went on to have 2 children together. After 1 year of being married, it appeared that Jocelyn started to use her wealth on plastic surgery procedures. According to a number of biographies, she and her husband got his and her eye lifts, and as her career continued, she continued to make her appearance look more feline, cat-like, whatever that means. According to the Daily Mail, she spent $2 million on surgeries to please her husband, who just so happened to love big cats. She actually kept a lynx as a pet and told Vanity Fair that the lynx has perfect eyes. So there's always been this story surrounding her that she wanted to look like a cat. But there's no confirmation that her husband wanted her to look this way. Alec Wildenstein has actually talked about her transformation with Vanity Fair and said, "She was crazy. I would always find out last. She was thinking that she could fix her face like a piece of furniture. Skin does not work that way," but she wouldn't listen. In 1997, Jocelyn said she found her husband in bed with a 21-year-old model, which led to an altercation. Alec allegedly pulled a gun on Jocelyn and spent the night in jail. Later that year, he ended up leaving her and the divorce proceedings started immediately. The divorce was actually very messy, and that's probably why it was highly documented, and it actually went on for 2 years. Sounds like a nightmare. The press coverage of the very messy divorce was bad for Jocelyn because it centered around her looks. Tabloids started dubbing her the Bride of Wildenstein and Catwoman. It was at that point that she hired Republican campaign consultant and advisor Edward Rollins to handle her PR, because it got serious. Eventually though, she was awarded $2.5 billion as the divorce settlement and $100 million each year for 13 years afterwards. That's insane. Where's this money coming from? However, the judge stipulated that she could not use any of her divorce payments for more cosmetic surgery. Can you even do that? Can a judge tell you how to spend your divorce money? I'm actually wondering, so please let me know. Sadly, Alec passed away at the age of 67 back in 2008, and since their divorce, Jocelyn has kept a very low profile when it comes to big public events. But she did move on from Alec and started dating a fashion designer named Lloyd Klein in the early 2000s. The two of them aren't pictured together often, but when they are, it is usually at a high fashion or elite art event, which is where Jocelyn's passion for decoration still lies. Now, when it comes to her plastic surgery, people have accused her of having an addiction to it, which she denies. During an interview with the Daily Mail, she actually denied having cosmetic surgery at all and said her high cheekbones were from her natural Swiss background. When asked directly if she's ever had surgery, she said, I quote, "No, especially when you look back at my pictures. I think of course I am maybe more beautiful back then. When we are young, there's a certain freshness we lose with the years, but you still find the same eyes, same high cheeks, or same nose." She has never admitted to getting work done, and her now fiance, Lloyd Klein, says he believes that she has not either. He also told Daily Mail that when they are in France, she is often mistaken for the French actress Brigitte Bardot. In 2018, she did a very unexpected interview with Paper Magazine after staying silent for almost 20 years. She did the interview with Lloyd, and they both told the magazine that the plastic surgery stories all came from her ex-husband Alec and that they are not true. They even showed photos of Jocelyn when she was 17 and 18 and pointed out that she's always looked like a cat and had cat-shaped eyes. She ended the interview by saying people in her life who knew her as a teen would know that she has not had any surgery and that she's nothing to prove to the rest of the world. As of right now, she is currently still with Lloyd Klein, and the two of them have gone through a lot of personal struggles recently after he was diagnosed with cancer. He was diagnosed with lymphoma cancer and was told he had 6 months to live if his body did not respond to the new treatment. In 2019, he revealed his brand new face after beating cancer and said he is very happy with the procedure and called it magic. He happily showed his new look on the Daily Mail TV and announced that he was cancer-free, which is great, that's so exciting. But what shocked people the most was that he revealed Jocelyn has had work done on her face. During this interview, he revealed that Jocelyn is considering getting the same procedure done that he's had. But he said she's known for going under the knife. She loves this technique. She actually approved of it. Jocelyn loves the result. She is considering to use the secret. Throughout all the interviews throughout her career, there has always been a lot of denial around the topic of plastic surgery. So this statement was very confusing to fans because they've been wanting her to just admit it for a long time. But she's also still really not admitting it, but he kind of did. I don't know. Despite what we think, true or not, her look has drastically changed throughout her life. But the most important thing is she says she is happy with her appearance and encourages others to be the same.
There are a lot of celebrities and influencers who have altered their appearances. People like Donatella Versace and Amanda Lepore have very drastic and unique appearances, but I don't think any of them even come close to Sahar Tabar. Sahar is an Iranian social media star whose drastic appearance skyrocketed her to fame. People call her the zombie Angelina Jolie because of her corpse-like features. Some say that her appearance is both terrifying and intriguing because her sunken features baffle the minds of a lot of her followers. So how did this happen? How did she end up looking this way? Because she certainly was not born with these exaggerated features, and how have people reacted to her insane appearance? Before I get into things, please go ahead and leave us a like on the video because your likes really help us out a lot. So Sahar Tabar, also known as zombie Angelina Jolie, has risen to fame online because of her looks. Things started to take off for her in 2017 after posting pictures of herself on Instagram. She soon racked up hundreds of thousands of followers on social media because people were so intrigued with her drastic looks. Once she got media attention, people started asking the question on everybody's minds, this being, how did this happen? Sahar told sources that she had undergone over 50 plastic surgeries in order to look like her favorite actress, Angelina Jolie. Once these answers got out, fans went from being puzzled about her appearance to being a little horrified that she got so many procedures done, which resulted in her achieving this eerie sunken-in look. Trans model Amanda Lepore is another celebrity who's undergone a number of surgeries to achieve the look that she has now, but she doesn't even come close to the level of alteration that Sahar has achieved. This 20-year-old corpse bride, as some have taken to calling her, has seemingly done the impossible and has changed the entire structure of her face to make herself look more beautiful. Or at least this is what people were led to believe for a long time. After blowing up on social media and going along with this story that 50 surgeries achieved this drastic zombified look, Sahar came clean about everything, and it's a little shocking. Turns out everything was a lie. The zombie Angelina look, the story of how she got to look this way, and even her name turned out to be one huge lie. Sahar's real name turned out to be Fatima Kishvand, and no, she hasn't really gotten 50 surgeries either. Her entire corpse bride look comes entirely from Photoshop, as it turns out. After posting a side-by-side comparison to her Instagram, she came clean to her followers, showing how she really looks. I mean, for a long time, people suspected that Sahar's look were the result of Photoshop and makeup because the images looked so unnatural. But it's still so crazy to see her before and after pictures. The image on the left shows Tabar in her natural state. No sunken in eyes or giant lips or sharpened cheek and jawbones. She looks like a normal, albeit very beautiful woman. The image on the right shows what people had thought she looked like for years. She captioned the image revealing her editing secrets, saying, quote, "People are probably living in the 18th century and they haven't seen or heard of technology or makeup and they're really surprised," end quote. I mean, I'll give it to her, that almost mummified version of herself really does look like Angelina Jolie in a way, but it's also a little nightmare inducing, not gonna lie. All in all, the facial structure was faked. Her lips were enhanced in post and her icy blue eyes were just contacts that she used to enhance the look. Sahar has admitted to getting some work done, but not nearly as much as she once lied about. No, instead the influencer has gotten a quote, nose job, enlarged mouth, and liposuction. Now that we know the truth, it's no harm, no foul, right? Well, think again. Tabar's online antics were taken very harshly by the Iranian government, and so she was charged with corruption of young people and disrespect to the Islamic Republic. The influencer started off trolling people online with drastic looks, and instead of making people laugh, it made people mad. Her doctored selfies aren't the only things that led to her arrest, but it's the most prevalent reason. Now Sahar is sentenced to 10 years in prison for her online antics, and her Instagram account has been deactivated. Tabar's lawyers have been trying to get her freed after some of her other charges like blasphemy and inciting violence were dropped, and even after she contracted COVID-19 while behind bars. This hasn't seemed to work though, but there are still some who are looking for support for the influencer. Masih Alinejad, an Iranian journalist and activist, even contacted the real Angelina Jolie for help freeing Sahar, since the actress is known for her humanitarian efforts. It seemed only fitting for Angelina to free her doppelganger. Alinejad has said publicly that this punishment is not fair, saying, quote, "Islamic Republic has a history of tormenting women. We need to be united against this gender apartheid." End quote. It's so crazy to think that this girl's effort at trolling the internet with her drastic looks has resulted in her getting jail time. I have to say, I kind of feel bad for her. I mean, I don't know their laws over there, so I'm not really one to interject, but I feel like a 10-year sentence is a little harsh. But then again, there could be a bunch of other undisclosed information about this case that we don't know about. Now, I want to know what you guys think about Sahar Tabar and her drastic looks. Even though they're fake, I want to know if you thought they were real at first and how you felt about them. Were they scary? Intriguing? Did you believe that she actually had 50 surgeries? Let me know down in the comments.
In our number 10 spot is Heidi Montag. If you watched her drastic plastic surgery transformation on The Hills, then you will never forget seeing her big reveal for the first time. She got the title of the plastic surgery queen after doing the impossible and going through 10 surgeries in one day. A very dangerous decision, and one that she regrets. She has talked about it since and said that she was actually dead on the table at one point and did not know if she was going to make it out alive. The long list of surgeries include a brow lift, Botox in her face, a nose job, a chin reduction, fat injections in the cheeks, ears pinned back, nasolabial folds, lip, neck, waist, hip and thigh, liposuction, breast implants to a size F, a butt augmentation, and her back curved. At the time, she said she felt the pressures of Hollywood to look a certain way, but now she says that she would take it all back if she could, and even encourages other women to really think about it before considering plastic surgery. Next up at number 9 is Dolly Parton. The queen of country music has always been known for her look, including her plastic surgery. It is no secret, and she's never been shy talking about it. At 75 years old, she still looks youthful as ever, and that is because she is not afraid of a little plastic surgery. In 2019, she did an interview with CBS Sunday Morning and admitted that she knows she looks artificial and is okay with it. She said, "It is true that I look artificial, but I believe that I'm totally real. My look is really based on a country girl's idea of glam. I wasn't naturally pretty, so I make the most of anything I've got." She really is particular about her looks, revealing that she even sleeps with a full face of makeup on in case of emergency. But she's also the first person to poke fun at herself and her journey with plastic surgery. How could we ever forget the famous quote from 2011 when she said, "If something is bagging, sagging, or dragging, I'll tuck it, suck it, or pluck it." Moving on to number 8, we have Wayne Newton. He was once a fresh-faced kid from Norfolk who became a legendary Las Vegas entertainer and vocalist. But similar to a lot of other celebrities, it seems he felt the pressure to keep his good looks as he got older. In June of 2018, he made an appearance on The Bachelorette and shocked fans with a different face, everyone saying he looked like a wax replica of himself. According to a plastic surgeon expert, Dr. Brian Glatt, Wayne simply just took things too far. He said, "The look is very overdone and artificial. His cheeks are bursting at the seams from overfill of Botox injections." The internet also had a lot to say about it, mocking him all over Twitter for being the poster for overdoing plastic surgery. As we know, people can be very cruel online, and real life, but Wayne clearly felt he needed it and made the decision for himself. Cruising into number 7, we have Carrot Top. It's never been confirmed that he has had plastic surgery, but it has been up for debate ever since his face looked reinvented. In more recent years, it appears that the comedian has undergone multiple plastic surgery procedures, but he's always denied the claims. Professional plastic surgeons have come forward about the topic and speculated that it looks like he had cosmetic procedures done to give him his smooth face and an excessively arched brow. But regardless, the comedian says he wears makeup and that is why he he looks different. However, just a few days ago, a fan spotted him on the streets and filmed him for a TikTok, and it immediately went viral. People started a TikTok trend where they react to the video of him, mocking how different he looks than when his career first started. His behavior in the video was also very strange, so that had other people speculating that he was on something, if you know what I mean. Sniping our number 6 spot, we have Donatella Versace. The designer is another celebrity to not openly admit or discuss her plastic surgery, so it too has been a big debate for a while now. Although just by looking at then and now pictures, it's almost impossible to think that her face changed that drastically naturally. While she admits that she doesn't look like this genetically, she says her transformation happened due to her beauty regimen. During an interview, she said, "I'm not like this genetically. I use tons of cream and take care of my hair and skin." One thing she did admit to was Botox, revealing that she had it done in the past, only on her face, but said that it is no longer part of her beauty routine, which most people do not believe. She has looked this way for a long time now though, so you really only know how drastic her change is when you see older pictures of her. Halfway through our list, number 5, we have Katie Price. After being given the title of a glamour icon in the 90s, she struggled with wanting to hold on to her youthful looks that she became known for. She's always been beautiful, but she's also been open about the fact that she felt the pressure to look a certain way in the spotlight. She admits to going under the knife dozens of times to alter her overall appearance. She spent so much money on the procedures that in 2019 she was declared bankrupt. Her family has also been very public about her transformation, claiming that she was addicted to plastic surgery and wanted her to seek help for it. It has been a very long journey for her, an expensive and painful one, but in recent times she is trying to settle down with it. She has given herself time to heal from all the surgeries, and she also cut her hair into a short bob to try and have a more natural look. Coming in hot at number 4 is Janice Dickinson. She has been described as the world's first supermodel and had a wildly successful modeling career in the 1970s and 1980s to back that statement up. She later served as a judge on 4 seasons of America's Next Top Model and started her own modeling agency in 2005. So modeling has been a huge part of her life, and it might be why she turned to plastic surgery to keep up with her own appearance, even though she has always been stunning. But unlike some of the other celebrities on our list who chose to not talk about it, she has always been very open about her plastic surgery. She actually loves talking about the extensive work that she has gotten over the years. During an interview, she actually admitted and said, "I live for plastic surgery." She has had Botox, a facelift, different cosmetic procedures, a tummy tuck, and fillers. In our 3rd spot is Jessica Alves, formerly known as Rodrigo Alves, or the Human Ken doll. Jessica skyrocketed into the spotlight when she was Rodrigo because he had transformed his entire body into looking like a human doll. But in recent times, he transformed into Jessica, and now she looks like a human Barbie doll. So from this point forward, I will be using her new pronouns, she and her. Jessica has spent over £650,000 on more than 60 operations to transform herself into Ken, and then over £100,000 to transform into her current female body. The transformation from Rodrigo to Ken was drastic. You would never recognize that it was the same person, which is why she got so famous in the first place. But even the transformation from Ken to Barbie is big, and now Rodrigo is completely out of the appearance, which is what she ultimately wanted. She has opened up about how happy she is now, saying that she just reached a point where she could not live as a man anymore, even if it was a Ken doll. Making her way into number 2 is Meg Ryan. Over the last few years, articles have posted headlines claiming that plastic surgery ruined her career, but she has never confirmed getting the work done. In 2015, she denied having plastic surgery, but the rumors have never stopped because she looks so different. People have accused her of feeling the pressure of Hollywood, which is why she took a break and disappeared from the spotlight for a while. She has talked about her break and said that she left because she was burned out and felt isolated at the time. But when she came back around, she looked a lot different, and people have criticized her appearance ever since they saw just how different she looks compared to the beginning of her career. But Meg says that she blames ageism on her career as an actor not progressing. She said Hollywood and audiences were just too limited because people would not see her as anything other than a young blonde love interest. We have made it to number 1, and we have Mickey Rourke. People got used to his looks after being in the Hollywood spotlight for decades now. He was often praised for his looks. looks. He was a hunk, to say the least. Which is why people were left in shock after paparazzi photos surfaced and showed him looking like a different person. There was a reason for his journey with plastic surgery though, and it all started when his acting career seemed to hit a dead end. At that point, he decided he would go back to his first passion, which was boxing. Throughout his time fighting, he suffered from injuries like a split tongue, a compressed cheekbone, and broken ribs. It was then when he decided to have reconstructive surgery on his face. So it wasn't all for cosmetic reasons, he actually did a lot of damage to the structure of his face. But he has openly talked about it and admitted that he went to the wrong plastic surgeon the first time and was left with botched results. He had to undergo more surgeries to correct the previous ones, which ultimately changed his whole appearance. As of 2017, it was recorded that he had 5 nose jobs total.
And at number 10, Courtney Cox. The legendary Friends actor finally gave in to pressures to get filler and Botox, and she hated the result that it had on her face. She said that she would get some sort of filler here and there, but she didn't realize that they were all basically layering on top of each other, which led to a look that she hated. When speaking about the procedures, she told New Beauty, quote, "I've had all my fillers dissolved. I'm as natural as I can be. I feel better because I look like myself. I think that I now look more like the person that I was. I hope I do." She also made the change back to natural for her work, explaining her face didn't have the natural movement with the fillers, adding, quote, "You need movement in your face, especially if you have thin skin like I do. Those aren't wrinkles, they're smile lines. I've had to learn to embrace movement and realize that fillers are not my friend." And at number 9, Heidi Montag. The Hill star is famous for going overboard with plastic surgery. She infamously turned her girl next door look into that of a Barbie doll. She even underwent a whopping 10 procedures in one day in 2010, putting her health at risk. Montag revealed years later that she regretted making so many changes to her body, saying, quote, "I was definitely way in over my head. I kind of wanted a few enhancements and then it kind of got out of hand. I wasn't really told the repercussions and what would happen, emotionally and physically, and the pain I would be in. I was kind of in shock." Following all her plastic surgery procedures, that was all anybody knew her for, and she was no longer cast in any projects that were not related to her cosmetic enhancements. And at number 8, Scott Carrot Top Thompson. Carrot Top is no stranger to worst celebrity plastic surgery lists, and his appearance has changed considerably over the years. One doctor told MakeMeHeal.com that it appears as though Thompson has undergone a brow lift along with Botox injections, lip plumping, and laser peels, which is proved by his disappearing freckles. It's also been speculated that he's taken steroids and they are responsible for his buff appearance, but he denies getting anything done. When speaking about it in 2015, he told Florida Today, quote, "I never had any plastic surgery. I can see why people think that because I got really big for a while, but I've never got any work done. I mean, if I was going to have plastic surgery, I would look better than this." Carrot Top has had incredible success in his career, specifically in Vegas, but some say his career could be still thriving if not for his changing appearance. And at number 7, Yolanda Hadid. While Yolanda was battling her Lyme disease, she decided to reverse every cosmetic procedure that she could to be completely natural. This all took place when she was filming The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so it was captured on the show. First, she decided to get her breast implants removed and then remove all of her fillers. She shared the news with her Instagram followers, writing in the caption of her post that she was, quote, 55 and smiling from the inside out, finally back to the original 1964, living in a body free of breast implants, fillers, Botox extensions, and all the BS I thought I needed in order to keep up with what society conditioned me to believe a sexy woman should look like until the toxicity of it almost killed me. Because of her desire to live life naturally in every way possible, she's also stepped back from working. And at number 6, Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner is known for her signature pout that she achieved with the help of fillers. And with those lips, she became a billionaire, selling lip kits so people could try and achieve the lips that Kylie had. But Kylie actually regretted how large she made her lips at one point. While the sisters were being interviewed by Allure, Kylie revealed that her lips got way too big. Apparently, her sisters even had to set her straight and tell her to relax on the filler. And even though it can be argued that Kylie's cosmetic procedures brought her career to new heights, it's all anyone can talk about when discussing the star now. And plastic surgery and fillers will likely be linked to her forever. Halfway number 5, Khloe Kardashian. When the Kardashian sisters first started their rise to fame, Khloe seemed to always be the odd one out. She was constantly referred to as the ugly duckling of the family. But as time went on, Khloe did her best to reverse that image by getting multiple plastic surgeries to change her face and body. Her body even became such a point of conversation that she started the show Revenge Body. The whole premise of the show is that people use Khloe's help to transform their bodies along with their lives. However, there was a lot of controversy around the show and Khloe giving workout advice because many are convinced that Khloe got her killer body with surgery.
This is because her body is in an entirely different shape than before, and it definitely doesn't look natural. Things got even worse when an unedited photo of Khloe's body was leaked, and she reacted by trying to get it taken off the internet, proving she's not even happy with her body unless it's edited. And at number 4, Courtney Love. Courtney Love is best known as the singer for the band Hole, as well as the widow of Kurt Cobain. However, she also has a reputation for significantly changing her looks through plastic surgery. She started off with a grunge punk aesthetic, but slowly changed up the classic Hollywood look. Her most noticeable change has been her nose job. Love has admitted that she has changed her look significantly since she was the poster child for 90s grunge. She got her lips injected and had a nose job, but now she says that she regrets it. It's also changed the way that her fans look at her, and they really don't like that she's so different than before. And at number 3, Vivica A. Fox. Fox was a popular actress in the 90s, starring in movies like Set It Off and Two Can Play That Game. She also did a lot of modeling and was known for her sweet and classic look. However, things changed in her career when she decided to get some work done, and it drastically changed her look. Most noticeably was a nose job and some fillers. Since her career took a huge hit after her face had noticeably changed, we can assume the changes put a big damper on her career. And since she's only appeared in a few movies since, as well as being on The Celebrity Apprentice, I guess that could hold true. And at number 2, Donatella Versace. Donatella got her fame through running high-end fashion brand Versace with her late brother, Gianni. And in the decades since she's been a public figure, her face has changed considerably. Most would say for the worse. Over time, she's become unrecognizable, with her nose and lips changing the most. It's gotten so bad that Donatella has landed herself on pretty much every worst plastic surgery list that there is. Donatella has only admitted to getting Botox, nothing more, so she has not admitted to regretting any of her procedures. But since her reputation has taken such a hit because of her changing face, we can assume it's had a negative impact on her career as well. At the very least, it's made her less respected by the public. And finally, number 1, Adrienne Bailon. The Real host and former Disney Channel star has opened up about regretting her decision to get breast implants in her teens. She told E! News in 2014, quote, "When I was 19 years old, I actually did get breast implants. Probably one of my greatest regrets. I went from having an insecurity that I didn't have big breasts to now looking like an adult film star. And I was like, this isn't great." She also revealed that she got the procedure right before she was set to film Cheetah Girls 2, and it was quite a shock for Disney executives. But she says the implants did not last, and she decided to get them taken out shortly after. She also added that the implants stretched out her skin, adding, quote, "It was not the smartest decision for my career and just for myself. It was wanting to feel like a woman. Thankfully, she was able to fix things and has had a great career so far. I love her on the real." And at number 10, Courtney Love. Courtney Love has admitted to having 3 major procedures to change herself over the years, but unfortunately she hasn't been happy with them. The first procedure was liposuction on her butt, but she said that it ended up ruining her figure, and she discouraged anyone from getting it done. She also had a mouth enhancement, not really sure what that means, but she wasn't happy with it either. She said after that procedure, quote, "I just want the mouth God gave me back. It was perfectly cute and I had nice big lips." The last procedure she's admitted to was a nose job, although after the original procedure, she ended up getting it corrected because she did not like it, even calling it a, quote, "little beak" at one point. All this aside, I think Courtney looks really beautiful now, although it's clear she looks vastly different than her natural self. And at number 9, Kylie Jenner. Everybody knows that Kylie Jenner looks like a completely different person after all of her plastic surgery, and she's owned up to a very little bit of what she's had done. The one procedure that she speaks often about is her lip fillers. She says that growing up, her small lips were a big insecurity of hers, and she got lip fillers as a teenager when a boy told her that her lips were not kissable. This whole lip craze spawned her now billion-dollar business, as she was constantly looking for lip liner to overline her lips with. Along with the lip fillers, it's speculated that Kylie got a Brazilian butt lift, cheek fillers, chin implant, and an eyebrow raise. And even though she looks like a whole other person compared to her teenage self, she denies any other procedures. But it seems that Kylie slightly regrets the lip filler, and she admitted that they were way too big at one point. And at number 8, Denise Richards. Fans have been questioning for years if Denise Richards has had any facial modifications, but she's consistently denied changing her face with any procedures, including Botox or fillers. However, she's open about her breast implants and the long and horrible process to get them where they are now. She first got implants at 19 and had to get it fixed twice before they were what she wanted. Apparently, the first 2 surgeons made her breasts larger than she wanted, and she didn't have the time or energy to fix it when it happened. Denise also revealed that she had the second procedure before filming Wild Things and didn't want to get in a lawsuit with a plastic surgeon before filming that. She now calls the decision a large investment, but she's happy with how they look now. And at number 7, Bella Hadid. Bella Hadid was recently voted the most beautiful person in the world, but her beauty is not au naturel. Bella never talks about the work that she's had done, but from before and after pictures, it's clear that she has had a lot of enhancements. During a 2018 interview, she responded to comments about her plastic surgery, saying, quote, "People think I got all this surgery or did this or that, and you know what? We can do a scan of my face, darling. I'm scared of putting fillers into my lips. I wouldn't want to mess up my face." And with the before and afters that we have now, it's hard to claim that it's all puberty. The most common surgeries that have been rumored are a nose job, cat eye eyebrow lift, and either fillers or surgery to sharpen her face. And at number 6, Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling grew up in the limelight, and because of this, it's assumed that she got extensive plastic surgery. It doesn't help that her face has changed considerably over the years. However, she denies having anything but minor modifications made. In the past, Spelling has admitted to having her nose and breasts done, but that's it. When talking about the rumors that she's had more work done, she said, quote, "People have been talking about me having plastic surgery since I was 17. It's the one thing that stayed with me my entire career." Even though she doesn't admit to any major changes, she did reveal that her kids don't recognize her in her reruns of 90210. So there's that. Halfway number 5, LaToya Jackson. LaToya Jackson has had major plastic surgery over the years, and it's to a point that her past self is completely unrecognizable. The most noticeable procedure LaToya has had is a nose job. It was reported in 2017 that she was allegedly one nose job away from completely losing her nose. Plastic surgeons that were asked to comment on her nose said that the outer flare of her nostrils had been overly narrowed to a point of near disappearance. One doctor said that each surgery on the face carries the risk of more collapsing, and said it could be almost impossible for her to breathe through it if she continues to get work done. It's also rumored that her and her late brother Michael Jackson went to the same plastic surgeon, as their noses were almost identical. And at number 4, Khloe Kardashian. After Kylie, Khloe is the Kardashian with the most recognizable plastic surgery. And even though she's had as much work done as her sister, Khloe seems to get the most hate for her ever-changing appearance. During the recent Keeping Up with the Kardashians reunion, she addressed the accusations and admitted to all the cosmetic procedures that she's had done. For the first time ever, she admitted to getting a nose job, Botox, and fillers. Although she did admit that she responded horribly to Botox, so she doesn't get it anymore. Although Khloe did not admit to getting any work done to her body, it's heavily speculated that she got a Brazilian butt lift, which is when fat is taken from the body and injected into the butt. And at number 3, Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox has had a dramatic change since Friends, and it's caused many to speculate that she went under the knife. She's admitted to getting some procedures to fight aging, and says that she regrets getting a lot of them now. Most actresses in Hollywood struggle with that because there's less and less work for women as they get older, unfortunately. And unfortunately for Courtney, she's featured on so many of the, plastic surgery disasters lists. Courtney still looks very beautiful in my opinion, but it's clear that she's had too much Botox and a botched procedure somewhere around her mouth. And at number 2, Lil Kim. Lil Kim looks so different from her original self that she's basically unrecognizable now. Not only has she changed many aspects of her face over the years, but she's also heavily bleached her skin. Since her surgeries are constantly brought up by the media, Kim decided to address it in a 2005 interview. She claims that she used to be in a physically abusive relationship and she had to fix her injuries from that relationship using plastic surgery. She even remembers one point where she was released from the hospital from a broken nose for it to be broken by him yet again. And finally, number 1, Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag was once known as the plastic surgery queen because she got addicted to getting surgeries and even made the risky decision to once have 10 surgeries in one single day. Heidi went from the girl next door look to fake glam Barbie look. She's admitted to having numerous procedures in the past, including a brow lift, Botox in her face, a nose job, a chin reduction, fat injections in her cheeks, her ears pinned back, lip, neck, waist, hip, and thigh liposuction, breast implants to a size F, a butt augmentation, and her back curved. Not sure why anyone would want that. So clearly an insane amount of modifications. But of course, having all these surgeries come with a lot of risks. And she explained that she almost died because of a really risky surgery. Apparently she was on the table practically dead, and the doctors did not know if she was going to make it. She now says that she regrets a lot of her past work.
Now let's start talking about Donatella Versace, and let's start from the beginning. Donatella Versace was born in Reggio Calabria, Italy on May 2nd, 1955. She's the younger sister of the late famed designer Gianni Versace and described herself as, quote, the baby of the family, saying that she was always the most spoiled of her siblings. Donatella has always been known for her appearance. She created her signature look of dyed platinum hair and black eyeliner as a teenager and has kept up this look ever since. Donatella has also been deeply submerged in fashion for her whole life. Growing up, her mother was a dressmaker and had her own business, so fashion, style, and design has always been part of her life, even before her brother Gianni started the Versace company. Donatella grew up being something of a model for her family's designs and styles. As a child, Donatella wore her mother's custom clothes, as she said that she was always, quote, the best dressed little girl in the city, end quote. This carried into her teenage and young adult years, as Donatella has said that her brother Gianni used to make outfits for her and take her out with him for a night on the town, almost as to flaunt his mastery of fashion, but she didn't mind because she always looked good. Donatella and Gianni were very close, and she was always there to support her brother every step of the way, especially after he started his fashion company. Though Versace was a big family affair, with their brother also helping out in the company, Donatella and Gianni were really the ones who drove the fashion and design aspects of the company. Gianni relied on his sister for advice on his designs, and Donatella played a significant part in growing the public part of the fashion brand, organizing their fashion shows and advertising the company. Donatella also played a part in, quote, bringing some rock and roll spirit and celebrity cash to the line through her connections with Madonna and Elizabeth Hurley. Donatella later became the chief designer at the company's Versus line and became more involved in the business in the mid-90s during her brother's battle with cancer. They became concerned with the business and its succession, so the family came up with a succession plan in the case of Gianni's death, because this company meant so much to all of them. Gianni's health scare prompted the family to become more hands-on, especially Donatella, who gave so much to the brand to keep it alive. Miraculously, Gianni ended up beating cancer, but sadly, the family was still struck with tragedy when Gianni was killed in 1997 when he was shot outside of his home in Miami, Florida. Just a few days after his death, the company announced that Donatella would be acting as Versace's artistic director, but by that time, this role wasn't anything new for Donatella, as she was already taking a leading role in the company for the past 2 years before her brother's passing. Donatella's career had shifted and was beginning to grow even more, and as the new face of Versace, there was a new weight on her shoulders to keep the family's business and her brother's legacy alive and well. Image became even more important than ever before. As a hard-working businesswoman, she wanted to appear as best she could in the eyes of the company, but as a public figure and the head of a high-fashion brand, her looks had to be maintained, and so she entered into the world of plastic surgery. At the time of her brother's death in 1997, Donatella's appearance looked pretty untouched by plastic surgery, and being 42 at the time, she still looked very youthful, but it seems as though over the years, the more plastic surgery she's received, the older it made her look. By 2002, Donatella's facial features had changed dramatically, looking more like she looks these days. Her appearance seemed like it started to change shortly after her divorce from her husband, so maybe that also had something to do with it, or it could also have been a result of the industry that she works in, being that plastic surgery and harsh beauty standards are very apparent in fashion. This change in appearance could also have something to do with her substance abuse as well. In 2005, Donatella opened up about her substance abuse, sharing that she had been addicted to no-no-snow for the past 18 years, and that she sought out help at a rehab center in Arizona. As we all know, regular use of these kinds of substances can alter your appearance, and so perhaps Donatella began her plastic surgery in an effort to correct any damage that had been done due to her substance abuse. It was also at this time that she admitted to getting Botox, saying that she didn't believe in, quote, totally natural for women, end quote. By 2011, that's where things get a little concerning when it comes to Donatella's appearance. People had started making comments on her face, saying that clearly Donatella had started to go overboard with the plastic surgery and Botox. Some doctors made comments about it, saying that at this point her skin and its elasticity was starting to look papery and weak, which is a sign of many cosmetic treatments and sunbathing. One doctor also pointed out that at this point her lips and cheeks looked like it was no longer being receptive to Botox, which is probably why she had been getting so much more, and damaging the rest of her face in order to correct things. It sounds like a very vicious cycle that Donatella just couldn't break. Donatella continues to get fillers, facelifts, and other procedures, but some experts say that all of this work is just making things worse for the design mogul, because instead of correcting her appearance the way she wants it, it's just worsening it, making the results last for less and less time. Donatella used to be a model before fully taking on the business end of Versace, so that career ended a long time ago, but her career as a businesswoman is still kicking for the most part. From what I've read and heard, some people think that because of her appearance, had Donatella been in a different industry or had a different job, then she definitely would have seen a drop in credibility and loss of work, like we've seen in Hollywood with a number of actors, but because of her status in the fashion world, there's really no way of ending her career, but people can still make comments about her and the way that she looks.
The only way that she could truly end her career is by pulling the plug on it herself. She's too highly respected as a designer to be cancelled for something as menial as too much plastic surgery, but I'm sure that there are still people out there who would certainly try. I personally think that Donatella is an icon, and you might think me a hypocrite for making this video, but I truly do like her, and I couldn't care less about what she looks like. She's a fashion icon, she is talented and hardworking, and at the end of the day, those are qualities that really define a person, not their looks. At number 10, Tara Reid. For actress Tara Reid, things were going so well for her and her career, that is until a botched plastic surgery took that all away. Tara was looking to invest some of her hard-earned money into herself, and by some money, I mean a lot. In 2004, Tara went to get some work done to her body, and she received a few surgeries. She got breast implants and underwent a procedure called liposculpting, where things went horribly wrong. After these procedures, she was left disfigured, describing some of the aftermath saying, quote, "My stomach became a ripply, bulgy thing. I had a hernia, this huge bump next to my belly button. As a result, I couldn't wear a bikini, I lost work," end quote. This whole procedure ended up costing Tara nearly $10,000 up front. However, in the grand scheme of things, she lost much more than what she paid for the procedure. Because she had gotten botched, she had to pay more money on top of everything to get it corrected, and on top of that, after the world saw what these procedures left her with, she stopped getting hired in Hollywood and therefore lost a huge chunk of her income. This procedure ended up being way more expensive than Tara anticipated. At number 9, Nicki Minaj. Who doesn't love Nicki Minaj? She's the queen of rap and just an awesome person in general. Because of her huge success in the music industry, Nicki has been able to invest some of her hard-earned cash into herself and her appearance, and it turns out that Nicki has spent a surprising amount of money on plastic surgery. According to sources, Nicki has spent at least $11,000 on plastic surgery, though it may be a higher number now. As for what procedures she's had done, well, other than the Botox that everyone and their mother gets these days, Nicki has also received a nose job, she's had a fat transfer, and has gotten her teeth done as well. There's some debate over whether or not Nicki has had her butt done or not, but honestly there's bigger things to worry about other than that, and as long as Nicki is confident in her own body at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. Now before I carry on with the list, I would like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also if you're interested in gaming content, why not head on over to my gaming channel Viper Girl and check out what I've got going on over there. I upload daily, so there's always something new and fun to watch. Come say hi and subscribe while you're there. At number 8, Barry Manilow. For a lot of older celebrities, trying to turn back time and look more youthful is an endeavor many of them go on, and though some of them are more open about their procedures, others aren't, even though they sometimes come out looking like they've obviously had work done. For Barry Manilow, he's continuously denied getting work done, even though he spent thousands of dollars on making himself look younger. How much money has been spent, you ask? Well, it's believed that Barry has spent around $70,000 on plastic surgery. In an interview, Barry claimed to have only undergone surgeries and treatments for his health, like getting hip surgery and receiving steroid shots, but a lot of people aren't buying that and have pretty much revealed that he's been lying about getting work done for cosmetic purposes. It's been reported over the years that Barry has undergone several procedures, including having received a facelift in 1995, a second facelift and eyelid surgery in 2003, and then a third facelift in 2005. Because of the work he's had done and how much money has been spent on various plastic surgery procedures, a lot of people consider Barry as one of Hollywood's plastic celebrities, even though he denies everything. At number 7, Lil Kim. Rapper Lil Kim is another celebrity who's known for getting a lot of work done. In the past, she's been criticized for the amount of work she's gotten done and for looking too plastic, but even though she spent thousands of dollars changing her looks, there's a reason for it all. In interviews over the years, Lil Kim has spoken out about her plastic surgeries and what led her to get them. The rapper said in the past that some procedures were done to correct damage done to her by an ex-boyfriend of hers, and some other procedures she's received happened because she just didn't feel good about herself, which is totally okay. There's nothing wrong with wanting to change something that makes you feel insecure, and getting other things corrected that have been damaged can also be a very important step in your life. As for how much she spent on her looks, it's been said that the rapper has spent around 20 grand on things from nose jobs to jaw reshaping to skin bleaching and more. At number 6, Nadia Sulman. The name Nadia Sulman might not ring a bell right away, but the name Octomom might. Nadia rose to fame in the 2000s after she made headlines for giving birth to octopolis.
After gaining so much attention, Nadia became a reality star and got rich from it. Rich enough to start investing some of that money into her looks, and she spent a pretty large amount of money customizing her looks. Nadia has spent over $12,000 on plastic surgery to look like her Hollywood idol, Angelina Jolie. Yes, you heard that right. That 12 grand went towards Nadia getting her breasts and lips augmented, getting a nose job, and receiving fillers all over her face, all to look like Angelina Jolie. I mean, it's her money and she can do whatever she wants with it, but I personally don't understand why you would want to look like someone else. Just be yourself, because that's the best person you can be. At number 5, Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne looks pretty good these days, but the talk show host has said in the past that she credits most of that to her plastic surgery that she received over the years. Sharon has been pretty open about the work she's had done over the course of her life and how it's affected her, and is also someone who encourages others to invest in their looks too. Sources have reported that she's received multiple facelifts, tummy tucks, leg and arm lifts, a neck lift, breast augmentation, Botox, and other injectables. The biggest procedure that she's had to date was when she got her stomach stapled in order to lose weight, and this, combined with all the other things that she's had done, gives her a grand total of about $120,000 spent on plastic surgery alone. She's gotten so many facelifts done that she thinks that at one point she got botched. While talking about her journey with plastic surgery, she once opened up about her botched experience, where she said that at some angles she looked too plastic and she didn't like that. She seems to be happy enough with the results she has now and doesn't plan on stopping with her cosmetic surgeries anytime soon, being prepared to rack up that bill a little more. At number 4, Kathy Griffin. Comedian Kathy Griffin probably isn't the first person to come to mind when you think about celebrities who've spent large amounts of money on plastic surgery. Kathy has actually been pretty open about the cosmetic procedures she's had and approximately how much it's cost her. Over the years, she's received several chemical peelings, liposuction, a facelift, breast augmentation surgery, eyelid and brow lifting, as well as a nose job. As for how much these procedures cost the comedian, apparently we're looking around $30,000, which is a lot of money for her to question whether or not these procedures were all worth it. But hey, if you have the money, what's the harm in investing in yourself to make yourself feel a little bit better? At number 3, Cardi B. In the past, Cardi B has been very open about the plastic surgery procedures she's received over the years and how her body image affected her when she was younger. Really, I don't think there's anything Cardi does hide, since she's a pretty open book. She's done a lot to get to where she is today, including plastic surgery. Cardi has shared her experiences getting breast implants and a butt lift, saying that these procedures made her feel more confident in her own skin. The rapper said that when she was 18, she became an adult dancer, if you will, and she was able to save enough money for her to get implants because that was something that made her feel insecure when she was growing up. When she later tried working for a different club, they basically told her that she needed a big booty to work there, and that made her insecurities set back in. She ended up saving up again to get her butt lift done, and it made her feel happy. Now these procedures can have a super duper high price tag, but Cardi has her ways of getting them pretty cheap, and it'll actually surprise you. While she probably spent a pretty penny on getting her breasts done, she was able to get her butt lift for super cheap by going to a less than reputable source and getting it done for only $800 when it's usually a $9,000 or $10,000 procedure. It's certainly not the most expensive procedure on this list, but it's certainly noteworthy, so I just had to include it here. At number 2, Kim Kardashian. We're all aware that the Kardashians have had work done. I've talked about Kylie Jenner and Kris Jenner's pricey plastic surgery transformations, but Kim has also spent a lot of money on her looks. Now when people think about plastic surgery when it comes to Kim, most people would think of her butt, and even though she said it's all natural, that still continues to be debated. Other than this suspected butt lift, Kim has also received breast implants, a nose job, liposuction, and some suspect that she's also had her chin done as well. After all this work, Kim would have spent approximately $16,000 or $17,000 to achieve the look that she has today, but she's got buckets of money, so I doubt that really puts a dent in anything for her. And finally, at number 1, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is very well known for her appearance as much as she is known for her music. Over the years, Dolly has received a number of cosmetic surgeries such as breast augmentation, obviously, as well as a brow lift, multiple facelifts, eye lifts, chin augmentation, rhinoplasty, Botox, and other injectables. Dolly knows that she looks very different now compared to when she first started out, and she embraces that part of herself, even going so far as to say, quote, "I ain't got time to be old, I'm gonna look like a cartoon." Dolly has never been afraid to talk about her surgeries, including the cost, because she sort of implied that all of the work she's received over the years has cost about $1 million. Whether that's actually true or not remains to be unknown, but I honestly wouldn't doubt it. Even at 75 years young, she still says that she's not done working on her look and that she will keep investing in herself, and honestly, I love that for her.
First up, we've got Yolanda Hadid. The mother of supermodels Gigi and Bella Hadid, Yolanda herself was a top-notch model who is now known for being extremely strict on her daughters. She disapproves of them doing sports for fear of them getting too bulky, or eating any processed foods whatsoever. Obviously, as a model, her whole career revolves around how she looks, so it's no surprise that she's gotten some work done to try and fight the effects of gravity and time. Yolanda is 58 and looks like she could be in her 40s thanks to her strict regime of Botox and fillers. She's gotten facelifts and Botox done to her cheeks to try and keep her skin taut. That being said, she's thinking of ceasing all surgeries as she wants to maintain a certain level of bodily health. Quote, living in a body free of breast implants, fillers, Botox, extension, and all the bull I thought I needed in order to keep up with what society conditioned me to believe what a sexy woman should look like until the toxicity of it all almost killed me. Next up is Gwyneth Paltrow, who looks absolutely amazing, especially when you consider that she is 47 years old. While not an old age by any means, if she told me she was in her 30s, I'd have absolutely no trouble believing her. While obviously a lot of this stuff is genetic, there's also some work that Paltrow has admitted to getting done in order to help her defy age. She's spoken at length about her Botox injections and how they've helped her maintain her ageless face. But on top of that, she's also done some extremely strict facials. Paltrow has reportedly willingly let herself get stung by bees in the hopes of attempting to maintain youth. It's a form of acupuncture that basically replaces needles with live bee stings, which is extremely dangerous and life-threatening, by the way. In fact, one woman in Spain sadly passed away after attempting this form of acupuncture because Gwyneth had marketed it as a natural Botox. I think it's the actual Botox interface that's doing the heavy lifting here, not the bee stings. Next on the list is Julie Chen Moonves, the host of Big Brother. The first surgery that Julie Chen got was when she was 25 years old. Although not to defy age, Julie underwent the extremely painful procedure to get rid of her monolid eyes. She did so because of pressure from television networks who thought that her Asian eye shape made her look disinterested, and so sadly she gave into racism and surgically changed her eye shape. While that is a completely different circumstance, she has also, in more recent years, admitted to getting Botox to continue to achieve her high and youthful cheekbones. To retain her age-defying facial features, she's continued to Botox her face occasionally on top of a very strict veggie-based diet. Next up is Amanda Lepore. The celebrity trans beauty queen is almost known more now for her extensive surgeries she's undergone to achieve what she considers to be the perfect look. The nightclub lover has undergone tons of surgeries, including butt injections with silicone, a nose job, a forehead lift, a hairline lowered. She regularly pumps her cheeks with fillers, and she's had her breasts enhanced 3 separate times. To accentuate her hourglass figure, Amanda has even had her bottom ribs broken and pushed in as a way to make her waistline appear smaller and her hips broader. For that procedure, Miss Lepore traveled to Mexico, since few doctors will even perform the operation in the United States. Her latest procedure included a laser treatment designed to make the skin around her jaw tighter. Quote, it's like a facelift, but you don't get cut. People love to hate Amanda, I think because she's everything that represents the rich and famous, but scaled up 10 times bigger and bolder, especially because she's been in the spotlight for so long for reasons untold. Kinda like the Kardashians. Next on the list is the Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose. While he has cemented himself as one of the greats in the musical lexicon, in an attempt to defy aging, his face shape has certainly changed over the years. Particularly, Axl has reportedly gotten cheek implants to avoid gravity alongside a facelift. Especially as Axl gets older, he's starting to shy away from the role as a sex pot in the rock and roll scene, so it's no wonder that he would want to try and retain some of the beauty from his youth. Although I personally think that accepting age is one of the most beautiful things one can do with their body, who am I to argue with one of the greatest musicians of all time? Next up is Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley is looking a little worse for wear lately in a way that has nothing to do with age. Well, I guess it kind of does if you think about how it's basically because of a very obvious facelift. The musician who rose to fame with his art rock band Kiss has also gotten a nose job to give his profile more definition as time starts to sink in. The eyebrows are looking kinda rough, not gonna lie. I liked when they were a bit lower on him, but now with the facelift, it just kinda makes him look a bit more odd. than if he were to just leave his face alone. He just turned 70 a few months ago and isn't shy talking about all the surgeries he's had to endure as a result of the roughness of decades on stage. Just recently, he had to get another shoulder surgery due to an injury, on top of the 8 he's already had. Although that hardly has to do with age, I do feel for the man. Next up is Donatella Versace, the mogul fashion designer who changed the game. While once a naturally stunning woman, her face shape has changed extensively over the years, and as it stands, she's hardly recognizable from her former self. Around the early 2000s, we started to see Donatella go from fresh-faced and vibrant to plasticky, and nowadays she more closely resembles a wax figure than she does a human being. She's undergone multiple facelifts, consistent Botox, lip fillers, and I'm sure tons more in an attempt to escape wrinkles, but also to combat her near constant sunbathing that she refuses to stop despite knowing the effects of the dangers it can do to your skin and to speed up the aging process. Next up is Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers was a hilarious woman who didn't shy away from her bout with cosmetic surgery. Getting an eye lift when she was only 35 years old, she's been trying to escape age before it even really had an effect on her. She also had some facelifts, a very noticeable nose job, and a few eyebrow lifts. In a tribute to the star when she passed, supposed comedian Lena Dunham tweeted out cheekily in a joke that I'm sure Joan would have loved, quote, "Joan is gone, but a piece of her lives on. Her nose, because it's made of polyurethane." Joan once joked, quote, "I've had so much plastic surgery, when I die, they will donate my body to Tupperware." Rivers stated that she wants to look as young as possible into her old age, to the point that her plastic surgeon would send her home sometimes if she showed up too frequently to her Botox sessions. I kind of love her, and even more so for being so open about the surgery she's done to achieve an age-defying look, even in death. The famed prop comedian Carrot Top looks extremely different from his youth in an attempt to banish the wrinkles and signs of aging from his face. He's achieved a surgically enhanced, excessively arched brow and an extremely smooth face. The smooth face likely comes from laser treatments and chemical peels to keep it extremely tight and lacking any of the sagging we all see as time goes on. In reference to these surgeries, one doctor stated, quote, "At least it's appeared he's left his eyelids alone, although maybe they're next." And now last on my list is Jocelyn Wildenstein, who looks so unlike a human these days that she's been dubbed the Catwoman, and not because she looks like Zoe Kravitz. Jocelyn is a New York City socialite who went from natural stunner to, as she aged, a refusal to let time take hold, as she has had countless surgeries that have her appearing almost alien-like. Most notably, she's done her eyes and lips up so extensively, tons of facelifts and Botox. It's hard to see the natural face she once had under there, although I'd probably call this more of a medical obsession than dabbling in youthfulness, as it borderlines addiction levels of surgeries, so be nice in the comments.
So starting off our list today at number 10, we have Kim Kardashian. For years now, it seems like the Kardashian family has denied having any sort of procedures done, which is baffling because just having one look at the family, you can tell that they have definitely had a lot of work done to achieve their looks. While Kim has continued to go on and claim that she hasn't had any butt injections, she has claimed to getting cortisone shots to help her with her psoriasis. In 2022, during her cover interview with Allure, she would explain that she had a little bit of Botox done, and that's exactly what she's done to her face over the years. She then went on to deny any other procedures after she said she chilled on all the Botox lately. She then went on to claim that she's never had eyelash extensions, and went on to say, "I've never done anything. I have a drop of mascara on today. I've never filled my cheeks. I've never filled my lips." But do we actually really believe her? Number 9, Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen has been pretty open about her plastic surgery when she first started to admit to her procedures back in 2017 when she told Refinery 29 that she had her armpit sucked out, and when her fat came back, she had to pay for liposuction again so she could feel more confident when she wore her dresses. Then in 2019, the star would take to her Instagram to post that she would be removing her chest implants as she wanted to be able to zip into a dress size that was actually her size. And then again in 2021, the star would take to her Instagram again to share that she had the fat removed from her cheeks when she said, "I did that Dr. Diamond buccal fat removal thing here, and since I quit drinking, I'm really seeing the results." Chrissy then went on to point to the area of her cheek where the procedure had been done before adding in her caption that she had no shame in her Dr. Diamond game. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at number 8, we have Khloe Kardashian. I don't think any of us really thought Khloe would admit to some of the procedures she had done on her face, as we thought she was just gonna conceal the truth about her work like the rest of the family seems to do. However, during an episode on Keeping Up with the Kardashians series finale reunion, the star would admit to her procedures when she said, "For me, everyone says, oh my gosh, she had her third face transplant. But I've had one nose job and everyone gets so upset like, why don't I talk about it? No one's ever asked me." On her talk show Cocktails with Khloe, the star also admitted to having facial fillers dissolved when she said, "My face was so effed, I had to go and get this whole thing dissolved. It was a bummer and now I'm afraid to do it again. I'm also almost like I swear things are still in my face," which is honestly probably true, as once you alter your face, you can't go back to what you used to look like before. Number 7. Ashley Tisdale. Have you ever noticed that Ashley Tisdale's face altered around the time she was working on the hit show Sweet Life of Zack and Cody? Well, later on in Ashley's career, after the rumors started to circulate around the star altering her nose, she would admit that she did have a nose job done in 2007 to fix a deviated septum. When she told people, "I didn't do this because I believe in plastic surgery, I did this to help my health. I literally almost could not breathe out of my right nostril. I want my fans to know the truth. I'm not someone who is going to act like I have done nothing. I just want to be honest with my fans who are everything to me." And while Ashley did choose to admit that she had surgery done, she's not like most celebrities on this list today because she chose to have the cosmetic procedures done to help her health and not to improve her overall look. Number 6. Bella Hadid. In her 2022 Vogue cover story, Bella Hadid would share that she regretted having her nose altered when she was just 14 years old, when she said, "I wish I would have kept the nose of my ancestors. I think I would have grown into it." She also went on to add that her nose job was the only procedure she has ever gotten done, and she went on to say, "People think I fully effed my face because of one picture of me as a teenager looking puffy. I'm sure you don't look the same now as you did when you're 13, right? I've never used filler. Let's just put an end to that. I have no issue with it, but it's not for me." Instead, she went on to state that her lifted appearance is the result of an illusion when she said, "Whoever thinks I've gotten my eyes lifted or whatever, it's called face tape, the oldest trick in the book." However, while the star has admitted to her nose job, it's only a matter of time before she comes out to reveal that she also had buccal fat removal, as her cheeks are looking hella sculpted lately. Number 5. Joe Jonas. You think being one of the best looking men in Hollywood, Joe Jonas would have never done anything to his face, but then think again, as the star has had help from injectables over the years to help combat signs of getting older. As he once told people, we're all getting older, and part of it is being comfortable in our own skin. Around this time, Joe was also becoming a brand partner for Exomin, which is an anti-wrinkle injectable that temporarily improves the appearance of frown lines using a double filtered formula. Joe would also go on to admit he not only uses this treatment for his frown lines, but he also uses it to smooth out a scar he has between his eyebrows, before noting that his procedure has never been over the top and that he kept things pretty light so you couldn't really tell that he has had work done. Joe actually only chose to come out about his cosmetic treatments so he can encourage other men to feel comfortable doing the same thing, as he doesn't find it such a big deal, and he would also state that we should all feel confident about how we look. Number 4. Courtney Cox. At one point in time, we all noticed that there was just something different about Courtney Cox, and while a lot of people just couldn't wrap their finger around it and what was different with her, some of the star's fans then started to accuse the star of having work done. While Courtney was silent for years about her cosmetic procedures, in 2017 she would finally admit to having cosmetic surgeries when she said, "I've had all my fillers dissolved. I'm as natural as I can be. I feel better because I look myself. I think that I now look like the person that I was. I hope I do. Things are going to change. Everything's going to drop. I was trying to make it not drop, but that made my face look fake. You need movement in your face, especially if you have thin skin like I do. Those aren't wrinkles, they're smile lines. I've had to learn how to embrace movement and realize that fillers are not my friend." But honestly, fillers seem to be no one's friend, so it's surprising to see so many celebrities entering into the trend to get them. Number 3. Marc Jacobs. Back in 2021, Marc Jacobs would cause quite the public stir on Instagram after he uploaded a selfie of himself post-operation that showcased his head wrapped in bandages. The celebrity would then open up about his $50,000 facelift and his decision to publicly reveal he had gone under surgery while saying there was no shame in being vain. The designer has been sharing candid photos of his post-operative recovery on his personal Instagram account since. The celebrity plastic surgeon Andrew Giacono performed his deep plane facelift on July 20th, 2021. Marc would then open up about his procedure with Vogue when he told the media outlet, "I've got some scars around my ears and my face is swollen. I have a bruised neck. I'm still posting on Instagram. I don't care. I don't even see it as an effort to be transparent. I'm doing what I normally do, which is living my life and sharing it with anybody who is interested." Marc would then point out that he's been pretty honest about his changing appearance for decades, and he'll continue to do so as he gets more procedures done. Number 2. Tori Spelling. Back in 2021, Tori Spelling would address her expired and recalled chest implants when the actress posted a photo of herself at a plastic surgeon's office that year on November 19th. In the caption of the photo, she would say, "After needing to for many years, I'm finally addressing my expired and recalled implants. Thanks for squeezing me in. Dr. Plastic Surgery. Great consult. I adore you already." Beforehand, Tori had already previously shared that her implants had expired during an October episode, Wind Down with Janet Kramer. And when Tori was asked if she wanted to have new implants done, the Beverly Hills 90210 actor would say she did, before noting, "See, no one told me when I got that done. In 10 years, you would have to get them redone." Beforehand, in 2019, Tori did address all the rumors around her changed appearance when she told people, "The one thing that stuck with me forever was the plastic surgery thing. I literally had my nose done and my chest done. That's it. I'm constantly reading that I've done more." While the star has been under speculation for more procedures since she was at the age of 19, it seems like most celebrities can shake the rumors, but Tori's plastic surgery rumors have stuck with her throughout her entire career. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Reed Ewing. Reed Ewing once opened up about how he had a nightmare of a time struggling with body dysmorphia and the resulting horrors he faced when he attempted to use plastic surgery to fix it. When the actor, who is best known for playing Dylan on Modern Family, penned an essay for the Huffington Post, he would give shocking details about how he had a pretty difficult time in his life dealing with body dysmorphic disorder. So if you don't know what body dysmorphic disorder is, it's a mental illness in which a person obsesses over the way he or she looks, thinking about their real or perceived flaws for hours each day. And for Reed, he spent years analyzing every single feature, to the point he had to make his first appointment to meet with a cosmetic surgeon when he was only 19 years old. Though he describes the doctor as being curt and uninterested in his worries, nevertheless, he decided to undergo the surgery to get a large cheek implant. After getting the surgery done, Reed would face more problems, as he had to hide his face from the public to hide his disordered appearance post-surgery. It also didn't help when he woke up from the surgery, all the doctor and his staff could do was laugh at the actor's appearance.
Number 10. Zac Efron in Baywatch. Acknowledging his appearance changed in recent years, Efron explained that his looks changed after he fell over at his home and he broke his jaw in November of 2013, making his face and jaw muscles have to work extra hard. According to Zac, he was seeing a physical therapist to help him recover from this, but he briefly stopped while he was in Australia, where he taped 2 seasons of his Netflix series Down to Earth. It wasn't until 2017's Baywatch that fans really noticed the physical changes that Zac was going through. He was already a very muscular man. He claims to have starved and dehydrated himself for the shoot to appear more toned up. And on top of that, this was around the same time that his jaw started to reset itself, being noticeably stiff throughout the feature. His jaw is now more pronounced and it gives him like a more square but muscular face, almost appearing swollen sometimes. The look was only a third of the reason that fans hated this movie. It was also because of the terrible script and performances from its cast. Seriously, Dwayne Johnson, come on. Number 9. Sylvester Stallone in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, Sylvester Stallone's face is distracting in general. Ever since Rocky, this dude has looked like he's slowly been melting for 20 years, until suddenly a new face emerged. The fun thing with Sylvester is, depending on what movie you've seen between 2010 and and now depends on what you may have gotten in terms of face altogether. Around The Expendables, fans started to notice some subtle changes in his face. The cheeks were a little bit more prominent, he seemed to have more pronounced jaw, but the closer to the final Rambo movie we got, the more that he began to resemble his Rocky days. But most recently in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it seems that someone took a drywall scraper and just slowly flattened his face. His eyebrows also look more pronounced, almost like they're the Nike swoosh. And while the overall film is not a flop, the scenes with Sylvester in them were universally agreed to be unnecessary and distracting to the overall project. Number 8. Mickey Rourke in Wild Orchid. Back in his early days in Hollywood, Rourke was known as one of the prettiest boys in town. He was often compared to the likes of Marlon Brando and James Dean. However, that reputation did not last long. Throughout the 1980s, the diner actor would always talk about his issues with fame and how he hated the industry. So, throughout the early 90s, Mickey slowly started getting into the world of professional boxing as an escape. This was the main cause for so much of his misshapen face. According to Mickey himself, he had slowly been dismantled by the sport, breaking his nose twice, snapping his cheekbone, and damaging his ribs and toes. Needless to say, a professional doctor advised him to hang up the gloves before it did too much damage, but unfortunately that damage was already done. In his 1990 film Wild Orchid, the actor's cheeks were visibly swollen and he just looked so different. Later in 2009, he admitted that these changes were indeed due to botched plastic surgery, as a lot of people speculated. Whether it was the bad acting or the bad surgery, the movie tanked at the box office and it currently sits at a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. Since then, Mickey has gone under again for corrective surgery, but he still looks like a clay model of his former self. Number 7. Nicole Kidman in Bewitched. Nicole has been around for a while in the world of Hollywood, starring in everything from superhero movies like Batman Forever to the film on this list, 2005's Bewitched. The film was based around a TV series of the same name and featured Kidman as the lead and Will Ferrell as her co-star. The film was okay, it's fun for some, but for critics, it was a rough ride. One thing many fans noticed right away was that her cheeks looked suspiciously round. Like throughout the movie, the audience was left wondering what was happening to Nicole's face. Over the years, it has been speculated that she's gotten some kind of work done, but it was never actually confirmed. But just taking one look at a side-by-side proves that something has been done. Her cheeks look fuller, her face seems lifted, and there's a lot going on upstairs. This film was just the first of many to leave fans pondering what Nicole had been doing, and it did not stop there. The closer to 2020 we got, the more she appeared to have done, becoming nearly unrecognizable in her role in Bombshell. Number 6. John Travolta in Wild Hogs. John Travolta is a renowned actor who's been around for decades and's probably starred in at least one of your top 10 movies. However, the iconic Pulp Fiction actor surprised fans with what looks like the aftermath of botchy plastic surgery in 2007's Wild Hogs. Fans were convinced that John had some work done in his face and it had gone horribly wrong. Comparing his face to the Grease Lightning star that we all know and loved, there are just noticeable differences under his eyes and around his jaw. He now had more of a square face with unnaturally straight bone structure that he most certainly did not have when he met Sandy. Of course, getting Botox, fillers, or even plastic surgery as a quick fix to hide the inevitable signs of aging is not that big of a deal in Hollywood, but Mr. Travolta might have just stepped into the wrong surgeon's office, as fans were shocked and critical about his new look. The film overall was just a little bit strange, but it had a nice premise. It featured some pretty stellar comedic actors like Tim Allen and Martin Lawrence and Ray Liotta. They played a wannabe crew of bikers who get more than they bargained for when they run into actual gang members. It sounds fun, but the entire film is derailed by the distracting face of John Travolta. Seriously, this dude went from Grease Lightning to being struck by lightning. Number 5. Helen Hunt in I See You. From Mad About You and What Women Want to Twister, there is no denying that Helen Hunt has been a tour de force on screens big and small for decades. In fact, she got her start as a child actor in the 70s. A lifetime in the spotlight means fans will always be curious about every aspect of your life. Considering the pressure to remain youthful in Hollywood, many fans wondered if Helen Hunt ever decided to get plastic surgery. Well, 2019 was a big year for Helen. She had several movies coming out and had just directed an episode of The Politician. However, the main draw of that year was her role in the horror movie I See You, with many fans claiming that the film was unwatchable simply due to her facelift. It seemed like someone was trying to CGI out all the age on her face, but it ended up looking just strange, weird. The negative online comments caused many fans to skip this one and wait for the home release. Who am I kidding? They torrented it. Number 4. Tara Reid in American Pie Reunion. Tara has starred in several comedy flicks over the years, but they tend to stick to the same category, schlocky and cheap, which are still fun. Being a part of movies like Van Wilder, Sharknado, and of course the American Pie series. While she seemed to be on the rise, rumors of a serious attitude on set were slowly bringing her less and less roles, and a wardrobe malfunction at a party for P. Diddy in 2004, in which one part of her chest was visible for all the world to see, well, that didn't help either. She had clearly gotten some work done, which was obvious thanks to a certain body part being in the shape of a square and not a circle like it should be. She had also received many physical alterations to her face and stomach, with the latter being botched so horribly to the point where Tara had a hernia that prevented her from being able to work without a shirt on, which was apparently a big part of her career. When the gang got back together for the reunion, fans were curious to see where the film would take the crew and if it may be the first of many more American Pie movies. Unfortunately, the script combined with the distracting physical changes to one of its main cast members caused fans to peg this flick as a must-forget. Number 3. Jeremy Piven in Smokin' Aces. The Entourage star has not always been some cool guy in a suit. He's been a wide range of characters, from a bald store clerk to a villain in Spy Kids 4. This man is versatile, and so is his hair. In one of Jeremy's first acting gigs in Singles from 1992, he's very obviously missing the top of his head. His hair is slowly thinning, but is very clearly on its way out. Okay, so cut to the first season of Entourage, where his hair suddenly began to grow back. And by the time the 2006 movie Smokin' Aces came along, Jeremy had long hair. He looked like he was in a boy band that partied just a little bit too hard. This was a very distracting moment in the world of Hollywood and is a part of the reason that this movie tanked. It could be that, or it could be the terrible performances given by Piven, especially when you compare it to his co-stars like Ryan Reynolds and Ben Affleck, but who knows. It seems that the closer to 2020 we got, the more hair this dude had. He claims to have received hair transplant surgery, which was difficult to hide as he was bald one day and Elvis Presley the next. Number 2. Portia de Rossi, Arrested Development. While this may not be a film entry, how about the fact that she messed up a whole season of television just with her face? In fact, it had changed so much that her character was slowly written out of the series. The popular series returned after 7 years of rest, releasing an entire season, 15 episodes worth, all at once on Netflix. Now this is how the running joke heavy sitcom was really meant to be watched, all in one sitting over and over again at the viewer's own leisure. But it seemed that all the Twitter sphere could talk about was actress Portia de Rossi's face. De Rossi, who plays the vapid, self-centered, clueless Lindsay Bluth Fuquet in the series, had apparently gotten some work done as a side-by-side of season 1 to season 4 shows vastly different faces. Several plastic surgeons gave their take on the possible changes and agreed that it was very obvious that she had had some work done. They report that she received a nasal tip reconstruction and Botox injections. Yeah, you don't need to be a plastic surgeon to see that one. Unfortunately for the show, that 4th season was not well received, and one of the many issues that fans seemed to have was the little to no explanation on why Lindsay looked like that. And at number 1, Kim Basinger in The Burning Plain. Kim was a rising star in the 1980s, being featured in rom-coms, action movies, dramatic pieces, each one just a little bit better than it would have been without her. Towards the end of the 1990s, she was still maintaining a steady career, but as we entered the new millennium, many were noticing several changes to her face. By the time The Burning Plain came out, it was obvious what was going on. Her cheeks were noticeably larger, leaving her with deep ridges. Her face was also suspiciously wrinkle-free, which made the changes even more obvious. Between the Botox, the facelift, and who knows what else, her role in the film was bogged down by the unrecognizable face of Miss Kim Basinger. Despite boasting a great cast with Jennifer Lawrence and Charlize Theron, the film tanked, and no one could take it seriously.
Number 10. Zac Efron. The High School Musical star really shocked fans with how different he looked in 2021, when a video surfaced online of his face looking extremely altered. When Zac appeared on camera for a virtual Earth Day event, everyone was totally distracted by his new appearance. Not only did he no longer have his iconic baby face look, but some people suggested that he had an altered jawline and enhanced lips, and suspected that he'd had, at the very least, some Botox done. It's true that he looked a little bit past puffy or possibly swollen, but of course, camera angles, makeup, and poor lighting also could have contributed to the drastically different appearance. When the video started making the rounds on social media, popular TikTok surgeon Dr. Yun suggested that Zack might have gotten oral surgery, which would explain his swollen jaw, which would happen if your wisdom teeth were taken out or you had some kind of other intensive dental surgery. But fans were not happy about the doctor's comments and accused him of trying to capitalize on Zack's popularity to gain attention. Although he does look different now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. The actor went on both The Ellen Show and Jimmy Kimmel Live recently and just looked a whole lot more mature. In fact, he seemed to have really grown into his features in the best way possible. Number 9. Khloe Kardashian. The Keeping Up with the Kardashian star is known for being the funniest and most laid back of all the sisters. But over the years, fans have seen such a drastic change in her appearance that it can only be put down to excessive plastic surgery. And while the reality star isn't too outspoken when it comes to her past procedures, she has opened up once before about the reason behind her choice to go under the knife. Quote, "For me, everyone says, oh my gosh, she's had her 3rd face transplant, but I've only had 1 nose job and everyone gets so upset. Like, why don't I talk about it? No one's ever asked me." She also revealed that she has done injections but not really Botox because when she tried it, her face responded horribly, but all the surgery was probably because of something deeper. In fact, later in the episode, Khloe explained how she experienced body image insecurity when doing photo shoots with her sisters, saying, "They would receive racks and racks of clothes and I was told by so many different stylists I was given about 2 or 3 pieces of clothing, but not to worry because I would be in the background anyway," which is pretty unfortunate because being treated like that would upset just about anybody. Number 8. Rebel Wilson. The Australian actress has been in comedy since the early 2000s, but her career really took off a decade later in movies like What to Expect When You're Expecting, Struck by Lightning, and of course Pitch Perfect. She's always been a huge health and body positive advocate and has frequently opened up about her health journey. But the reason Rebel Wilson looks so drastically different in 2022 is that she has actually been working on her health and fitness since late 2019, and she has seen massive results. In a candid interview with the BBC, she talked about the differences in how she's being treated now. Quote, "Sometimes being bigger, people don't necessarily look twice at you. Now that I'm in good shape, people offer to carry my groceries to the car and hold doors open for you. And you think, is this what other people experience all the time?" So even though Rebel seems to be a lot happier now, she's also pointed out something that's really worth discussing. Her health journey has been a very public one, so it's great that the actress has decided not to hold back when talking about all the challenges that she's faced throughout. And she's certainly become an inspiration for others to make positive changes to their health. Number 7. Miley Cyrus. The 29-year-old singer and actress has lived so many lives already. She's been a Disney star, a country singer, then she moved to R&B for a while and back into pop. Miley has always been an eccentric performer. I mean, who can forget twerking against Robin Thicke at the MTV VMAs in 2013? But her whole style and aesthetic did a complete 180 somewhere around 2020 when she started embracing all things rock and roll. These days she looks completely unrecognizable with a platinum blonde mullet, metallic blue smoky eyeshadow, and a blue and white striped dress. She actually looks like an 80s rock star. The aesthetic change appears to be part of her newest musical era for her newest rock album, Plastic Hearts. It's still up for debate whether Miley is going for a more grunge or glam rock, but it's clear that she's chosen a whole nother genre for herself when it comes to not only style but music. After hearing her cover of Blondie's Heart of Glass, which was released as a single in late September, it became clear to so many that her voice is really suited to rock and roll. Alongside her cover of Zombie by the Cranberries and her own song Midnight Sky, it seems like she's really grown into her voice and found the perfect look for the genre. Number 6. Adele. Ever since her music blew up in the early 2010s, the powerhouse singer has released hit after hit. Her albums 21, 25, and 30 became instant successes, with all 3 topping number 1 on nearly every worldwide music chart. But fans were really shocked in 2020 when Adele made a post on social media that showed her completely transformed look. In fact, she joked about the change in her opening monologue for SNL, saying, "I know I look really different since you last saw me, but actually because of all the COVID restrictions, I had to travel light and I could only bring half of me, and this is the half I chose." The 34-year-old looks extremely happy these days, and she's recently opened up about the healthy lifestyle changes she made that helped her lose 100 pounds in 2 years. But she knows that plenty of negative comments have surfaced about her new look, and she told British Vogue, "My body has been objectified my entire career. It's not just now. I understand why it's a shock. I understand why some women especially were hurt. Visually, I represent a lot of women, but but I'm still the same person. So it's clear that Adele is very much herself, just with a newfound confidence. Number 5. Kesha. The singer shocked fans when she debuted her glamorous and sophisticated new look at the Studio 666 premiere in Hollywood. The 34-year-old was truly unrecognizable with a dark, short bob and a plain black dress in a major style transformation from her party girl days. Kesha wore a plunging, lace-up, short, tight black leather dress that accentuated both her chest and her legs. Her brunette hair was slicked back with natural-looking makeup. The Grammy Award winner has been known to drastically alter her appearance through the years, but her new almost bare-faced look was a complete flip from her usual bright, eccentric style with heavy makeup and her signature long, wavy blonde hair. So making the change from blonde to brunette and chopping her hair into a chin bob length made all the difference in the world. But aside from desperately waiting for Kesha to release new music, fans are also longing for the conclusion of her lengthy legal battle with her former producer Dr. Luke, which has been ongoing since 2014. The defamation lawsuit against her seems like it's gonna go on forever at this stage, and it has really kept her career in a kind of limbo. But it's clear that she's already planning some kind of a comeback with her new style. Number 4. Linda Evangelista. The Canadian fashion model was undoubtedly one of the top supermodels from the 1990s and is regarded as one of the most accomplished and influential models of all time. In fact, she's been featured on over 700 magazine covers, but Linda hasn't really been seen in public very much in the last 5 years or so, and fans recently found out why. In September last year, she took to Instagram and revealed that she had undergone cool sculpting treatment to her face, which she says left her unrecognizable, as it allegedly caused fat cells in her face to multiply. Quote, "To my followers who have wondered why I have not been working while my peers' careers have been thriving, the reason is that I was brutally disfigured." She went on to say that the procedure actually did the opposite of what it was promised. In fact, what happened to her was a rare but serious side effect of cool sculpting, and the model said the treatment not only destroyed her livelihood, but sent her into a cycle of deep depression, profound sadness, and the lowest depths of self-loathing, which is extremely sad when you consider just how much it would have affected her self-esteem. Number 3. Iggy Azalea. The Australian rapper made her US debut in 2014 with the release of her first album, The New Classic, which debuted at number 1 on the Billboard rap chart. From her collaborations with some of our favorite pop princesses to her gorgeous curves, Iggy Azalea has consistently commanded headlines all over the globe. But recently, a lot of it has been plastic surgery rumors, considering how much her appearance has changed over the years. Confirming the suspicions, the Aussie hitmaker admitted that she has had rhinoplasty. She said, "I'm not denying it. Denying it is lame. I don't think you should be ashamed if you've made a change to yourself, which is why I've spoken about the changes I've made, like with my breasts." Iggy was always pretty straightforward about her decision to have surgery, saying, "Your perception of yourself can change a lot over time, so I think it's important to wait and make sure it's the right choice. Plastic surgery is an emotional journey. It's no easy feat to live with your flaws and accept yourself, and it's no easy feat to change yourself. Either way you look at it, it's a tough journey," which is a great message to get out there, considering that there's still a lot of stigma behind just admitting to having done plastic surgery in the first place. Number 2. Sharon Osbourne. The former The Talk panelist is no stranger to plastic surgery, and it really seemed to work with her over the years, considering her appearance was never altered too drastically. But all that changed in late 2021 when she got a facelift that, in her own words, ended up making her look like a cyclops. Quote, "I had a full facelift done in October, and I looked like one of those effing mummies that they wrap with bandages." She told the Sunday Times that the whole thing hurt like hell. But what was even worse is that all the pain never really paid off for her. Sharon said that after the more than 5-hour surgery, she was left looking horrendous, and she even told the surgeon, quote, "You've got to be effing joking. One eye was different to the other. I looked like an effing cyclops. All I need is a hunchback." It sounds funny, but it would have been a nightmare for her. Even her husband, Ozzy Osbourne, was totally against the results. Fortunately, she was able to undergo reconstructive work, and she's now a lot more satisfied with her appearance. And coming in at number 1, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. Of all the famous twins in Hollywood, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen are probably the most mysterious. The former child stars announced an abrupt and permanent retirement from acting more than 15 years ago, and ever since then they've kept a low profile. But the twins are still hard at work on their fashion line and other business endeavors. But when photos surfaced over the years of Mary-Kate looking drastically different from Ashley, fans began speculating that one or both sisters sisters may have had plastic surgery. People were pretty rude when it came to targeting the appearance of both of them, with some outlets reporting that Ashley underwent a botched facelift and that Mary-Kate looked a lot older. In fact, one plastic surgeon who spoke to Life and Style magazine insisted that the changes could have come from other factors, such as nicotine products or lifestyle changes. The sisters looked surprisingly similar when they were younger, which caused most people to assume that they were identical, but they're actually fraternal twins, which might help explain their physical differences now. The girls did have a brief chance to get back on the screens recently in the revival of their original show Fuller House, but they just weren't interested in participating, which seemed to disappoint a lot of fans. But it only served to make them more mysterious as they continued to live ever so private lives.
At number 10, we have Gwen Stefani. Now, Gwen Stefani's face has been the hot topic over the last couple of months as the stars sat down in an interview on Late Night with Seth Meyers. Fans were shocked to see Gwen and claimed that she looks unrecognizable, and it made them even check twice to see if it was actually her. It's clear that Gwen wanted to appear ageless, however, her ageless looks have definitely been the subject of many conversations over the years. However, this time Gwen took the cosmetic procedures way too far. It's clear that the star has had one too many procedures done, and at this point, it no longer looks natural. And it's kinda heartbreaking and sad to see. One fan has even gone to beg the star to stop having surgery and just to leave her face alone. At number 9, we have Brendan Fraser. Now, Brendan Fraser hit the red carpet for a premiere of the film No Sudden. Brendan's look dramatically changed, and compared to his days in The Mummy, he doesn't look the same. At the time, Brendan was set to star as a 600-pound character in the film Whale. As a result, he had to put on weight for the role. Since his return to Hollywood, fans have been in full swing of support for the star and have even addressed the fact that they've missed the actor. However, his face isn't the only thing that you'll see that's changed, as his beautiful full locks are no longer here and his hair is now buzzed and looking much thinner. And just like his fans, I hope Brendan Fraser is healthy and happy and doing better now that he's entering back into the scene of Hollywood. Are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. At number 8, we have Jessica Simpson. Now, Jessica Simpson has sparked concern from fans after she posted a new Instagram selfie looking very thin and different. With the star posting a photo showing off her new look, fans would tell her it definitely wasn't trendworthy, and they would continue to ask her if she was okay. Now, Jessica over the last few years has admitted to disliking her own face fillers that she got when she was feeling insecure about her appearance. But considering her surgeries mixed with weight loss, the star is completely unrecognizable to this day. And it's really hard to see if she's okay or not, but she has revealed that she has lost 100 pounds and she has been battling with certain life issues. At number 7, we have Kelly McGillis. So remember the bad blondie from Top Gun, Kelly McGillis? Well, the 65-year-old is completely unrecognizable from her days as the silver screen siren. The mama too has ditched her trademark blonde look, and she's even swapped out her glamorous wardrobe for a casual baggy trouser and t-shirts. The star has also opted to never have fillers, Botox, or plastic surgery, and she's refused to dye her now gray hair as she wants to embrace who she is. Now, Kelly has come out to say that in the past she's tried to be something that she wasn't, and it ruined her life in a lot of ways. And now she understands that now that she's gotten older and she's not into the whole Hollywood industry standard things anymore, and she wants to feel absolutely secure in her skin and with her age, and in a place that values other stuff. And at number 6, we have Laura Flynn Boyle. So 90s star Laura Flynn Boyle looks completely unrecognizable when you compare her to her days as Hollywood's it girl. Now, for years the star has had to deal with rumors that she's gotten under the knife to change her appearance, and of course, Laura has never admitted to plastic surgery, but it's clear that the star definitely went too far with fillers and other procedures. Now, the celebrity plastic surgeon, Dr. Anthony Yoon, has also come to say that the star's face looks like it's melting, as her face now looks deflated with resultant loose skin, most likely because she's undergone corrective surgery to reverse some of the work she's had previously done, or she's just allowed fillers to dissolve on their own, which is leaving her cheeks looking to appear saggy. And at number 5, we have Wendy Williams. When Wendy Williams stepped out of her New York City apartment back in August, she was captured leaving the building holding onto her bodyguard. Now, the photos would appear that Wendy is unable to walk on her own, and the star stars look dramatically thinner than she ever has before. And because of the weight loss, her cheekbones would be on full display and her overall appearance of her face looked pretty scary. Her day's look has definitely sparked some concerns from fans, as many of them felt like she was dealing with a lot, and it's clear that she should have been at home resting. It's clear that the star is struggling with her overall health and personal struggles, and she's currently a patient in a treatment program to help treat her overall health issues. And number 4, we have Bridget Fonda. After disappearing from the spotlight for 20 years, 90s actor Bridget Fonda was caught outside of LA in a baggy t-shirt and glasses, and the star looked completely different compared to her days on the big screen. The star has definitely refused to have any cosmetic procedures done, and she's aged. She's chosen to rock her gray locks and has ditched her glamorous outfits and has opted to dress more comfortably. The star has also put on a lot of weight, but she still looks healthy and happy, and that's all that really matters. While the star's still stunning, it's a shame that the tabloids still feel a need to invade her privacy since the star did retire back in 2002. And number 3, we have Mickey Rourke. American actor Mickey Rourke looks completely different following an incident with plastic surgery and fillers. Now, Mickey was once one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood after his debut in a minor role in Steven Spielberg's film 1941. However, in the early 90s, the star decided to leave his acting career behind and he decided to take up professional boxing. Unfortunately, with his boxing career would come a string of severe facial injuries, such as a broken nose and a compressed cheekbone. Mickey would then undergo several reconstructive surgeries to treat his injuries. However, the surgeries would fail and it would prompt the actor to go under the knife consistently. While the star wanted to fix his face, he definitely went to the wrong guy to do it, so you should always remember to do your research before, because not everybody is good at their jobs and some people just like to do the bare minimum. At number 2, we have Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill looks completely different from his days in the movie Superbad. Now, Jonah has noted that when he began to understand how much it hurt to be called fat, gross, and unattractive early in his career, he knew he wanted to feel more comfortable taking off his shirt to tan without judgment. So the star decided to opt for a better diet and began to work out to shed the pounds. Now, his slender figure alone would leave him alone unrecognizable. However, recently the star has chosen to grow out his beard and his hair longer, and he's opted to go blonde. Personally, I'm glad Jonah feels more comfortable and happy in his own skin because he deserves nothing but the best, but this guy has always looked good, and it's sad that the industry made him feel the way he is feeling, and that's why he opted to change. And at number 1 today, we have Hilary Duff. Hilary Duff is one ageless beauty we can't seem to get enough of. Since her rising to fame from Disney Channel's show, Lizzie McGuire, to a photo of her now shows that the star just keeps getting more gorgeous. Hilary's stunning appearance, however, has made us wonder if she's gotten plastic surgery, because the star doesn't look the exact same as she used to before. The star has opted for a longer, icy blonde look, and definitely looks like she's had a nose job and lip injections done as well. While she denies having any type of surgeries or fillers, she has opted to say that the reason she looks so good is due to her $1,244 beauty routine. However, the main thing is that Hilary has changed her appearance and her teeth, and the actress has gotten porcelain veneers, which have made her teeth a bright white color and has also given her a larger, more symmetrical teeth along her bottom ridges.
Starting off our countdown at number 10 is Courtney Cox. Fans are thrilled to hear that she'll be taking back her role of Monica Geller in the upcoming Friends reunion special. And by fans, I mean me. But she's going to look a lot different than the Monica we are used to seeing. Throughout the years, she has had different cosmetic procedures done that have completely altered her look. She's always been very open about it, even admitting that she regrets it. She said that at one point, she actually took things too far and went a little overboard with fillers, so she actually went and had those fillers removed. She spoke about it in 2017 and said, "I've had to learn to embrace movement and realize that fillers are not my friend. I've had all my fillers dissolved. I'm as natural as I can be. I think that I now look more like the person I was." Fans are still surprised to see just how different she looks even with those fillers removed, but beautiful nonetheless, and still very much Monica. I'm so excited for her friends. Make sure you guys leave a like on this video because it really helps us out in this YouTube algorithm. It's a crazy world out here on YouTube, so help us please. In spot number 9 is Sophia Grace. The internet icon rose to fame after rapping a Nicki Minaj song with her cousin Rosie on the Ellen DeGeneres show. It was back in 2011 when their cover of Super Bass went viral on YouTube and Ellen just had to have them perform it on her show. The video racked up more than 54 million views, and they even got to meet Nicki Minaj when appearing on Ellen's show. From there, Sophia grew an online audience as her life continued on, and recently she celebrated her 18th birthday. She posted a picture online of herself posing with balloons that read 18, and people immediately started resharing and retweeting it. People could just not believe that the little girl from Ellen was now 18 years old and stated that it made them feel really old. It made me feel literally like a fossil. E! News and other media outlets shared her transformation, and they also shared Rosie all grown up too, which honestly just makes me feel like even worse. I'm so old. Sliding into number 8, we have Amanda Bynes. If you are a 90s kid like me, then chances are Amanda was a staple on your TV screen growing up. She rose to fame as a child star on Nickelodeon's All That before landing her own series called The Amanda Show. From there, her career continued to grow and she was one of the biggest actors in Hollywood. But her career took a turn for the worse as she struggled with mental health issues and substance abuse, which led to her having issues with the law. As her career started to change, so did her looks. She got plastic surgery done to her face and breasts, got facial piercings at one point, and more recently got a face tattoo. Her life is in better standings though, thank God, because I love her. She is sober right now and is engaged to a man named Paul Michael, who has been by her side for the past year. Recent photos of them showed her looking like a completely different person than when we last saw her on our screen. Moving on to number 7, we have Orlando Brown. He was known for playing Eddie Thomas on the iconic TV series That's So Raven. After the series ended, he went on to book a few acting roles and even dabbled in the music industry a little bit, but nothing quite stuck for him. As time went on, he began to get in trouble with the law and was actually arrested on multiple occasions. In 2016, he was arrested and charged with drug possession, misdemeanor, domestic battery, and obstruction of justice. His appearance also began to change, and people hardly recognized him in his mugshots. He even got a strange raven tattoo on his neck, and he went on the Dr. Phil show wearing green alien eye contacts. Both his behavior and appearance has changed drastically, and any That's So Raven fan would be shocked to watch this transformation happen. I honestly didn't even recognize him. My little Eddie. I loved that show. Cruising to the number 6 spot is Priscilla Presley. In 2018, she was the talk of the town after going viral online for her appearance when going on the morning show Lorraine. People couldn't help but comment on the drastic change in her face, and a lot of people said she looked botched. She later spoke about her cosmetic procedures and admitted that they were in fact botched, and said that she unknowingly had industrial low-grade silicone in her face. She was actually a victim to a doctor who did not have his license, but was pretending to for many years. He eventually was caught for fraud after some of his injections caused lumps, paralysis, and holes in his clients' faces. He was later sentenced to prison, but the damage on Priscilla's face was already done. The stuff that was injected in her face was said to be similar to what mechanics use to grease car parts. No. This is why you leave your face. Halfway through our list, number 5 is Adrienne Bailon. The talk show host has been very vocal about her dislike of the Kardashians, but fans began calling her out for morphing into one. People started commenting on her social media photos, which showed her face looking different. Her lips were more plump and her face looked more contoured. Adrienne has always been very open about going under the knife in the past, admitting that she got breast implants at the age of 19 years old. In 2014, she said that she would never touch her face, but people are calling her out for allegedly not sticking to her word. A plastic surgeon spoke on the debate and said, "I think she's had rhinoplasty and lip filler and maybe cheek augmentation as well. Her lower lip used to be twice as thick as her upper lip. Now they are almost the same thickness." Regardless if she has or not, she is still beautiful. I think people just keep remembering her as the girl from Cheetah Girls, so no matter what, she's gonna look different. Up next, number 4, we have Grace VanderWaal. She rose to fame back in 2016 when she won America's Got Talent at just 12 years old. She auditioned for the show with an original song and stole the hearts of many people through her honest music and extremely talented voice. But as the years went on and she began to grow up, her look began to change and fans had a hard time adjusting to it. She recently turned 17 and she's now rocking a shaved head with a very edgy sense of style. Fans started commenting on her social media concerned for her drastic change, but then others defended her, saying she is just growing up and finding out who she is. Although you probably wouldn't recognize her as the girl who won America's Got Talent, we probably don't look like our 12-year-old selves either. Like, let's be honest, when I was 17, I didn't even look like my 12-year-old self. Yeah. Thank God for that. Cruising into the number 3 spot is Melanie Griffith. The actress has had a very long, successful career, so it's no surprise that over the years, her look has changed in one way or another. She's been very open and honest about her plastic surgery choices, which she has taken a lot of heat for. She said she didn't realize just how drastic the changes were until people started pointing things out and asking her what happened to her face. It got to a point where she said she went to a different doctor and started dissolving all the stuff that her previous doctor had put in. But that interview was in 2017, and in 2020, rumors started spreading that she had more plastic surgery done in more recent months. In photos she posted online, people began asking if she looks different because of plastic surgery or if it was heavy editing. Either way, she does look different than before because she has changed her appearance, which she has been open about. Rolling into the number 2 spot is Khloe Kardashian. All the Kardashian sisters face a ton of backlash on a daily basis for their cosmetic procedures and Photoshop. Khloe has been caught drastically changing her photos, and people really don't know what she looks like in real life because of that. Throughout the years, she has changed her look, some of them being a very positive thing though. She turned to fitness and created her own show called Revenge Body, where she then helped other people reach their own health and fitness goals. So kudos to her, because she does look great. But her face has changed too, and that is no secret. While she's always been very beautiful, in my opinion, fans constantly criticize the Photoshop that she does and how much she changed her look throughout these years. If you compare a group of photos, honestly, throughout the last year even, they all look so different from one another. It's just hard to kind of know what she actually looks like. That is the power of editing though, my friends. Winning the number 1 place on our list is Zac Efron. The actor caused a big stir online after showing up for an online interview where his face looked completely different. His face looked incredibly swollen and reshaped, like he had just got out of a plastic surgery procedure. The 33-year-old filmed a special to promote Bill Nye's Earth Day special, and no one could focus on what he was saying because they just kept looking at his face. People immediately started sharing photos of his face compared to before and questioned what surgery he had done. Plastic surgeon Dr. Anthony Oon spoke on it and said he does look different and suggested that he might have had injections of filler to reshape his jaw. But other rumors said that he had dental surgery and that is why his face was swollen. We're not sure what the reasoning is, but he does look different. Still a gorgeous man to look at though.
And at number 10, Zac Efron. We know Zac Efron as the love interest Troy in High School Musical, but his new look has shocked his fans. After Zac appeared on a Facebook Watch event for Bill Nye's Earth Day musical, the internet was set ablaze with rumors that he had gone cosmetic surgery to change his face. The lower half of the actor's face looked much more prominent, including his jaw and lips, which both looked fuller. Many Twitter users speculated that Efron might have gone cosmetic surgery, like bad Botox or fillers. One TikTok doctor even thought that Efron could have recently gotten his wisdom teeth removed. Zac has not commented on the situation, but one of his best friends recently spoke out and denied rumors of plastic surgery. In at number 9, Dove Cameron. Dove Cameron is known for her roles in the Descendants franchise, as well as the show Liv and Maddie. But over the years she's gone through quite a transformation, and she's almost unrecognizable compared to what she looked like before. The most widely speculated procedures she has received are lip fillers, an eyebrow raise to give her a cat eye look, and a nose job. At one point her lips were so unnaturally large that fans said that her lips looked hard and like they hurt. Dove is still gorgeous, but instead of being known for her acting, she's known for having tons of procedures at a young age. And at number 8, Adrienne Bailon. The former Cheetah Girl and Disney star has opened up about regretting her decision to get breast implants in her teens. She told E! News in 2014, quote, "When I was 19 years old, I actually did get breast implants, probably one of my greatest regrets. I went from having an insecurity that I didn't have big breasts to now looking like an adult film star. And I was like, this is not great." She also revealed that she got the procedure right before she was set to film Cheetah Girls 2, and it was quite a shock for Disney executives. But she says the implants did not last, and she decided to get them taken out shortly after. She also added that it stretched out her skin, adding, quote, "It was not the smartest decision for my career and just for myself. It was wanting to feel like a woman. Thankfully, she was able to fix things and has a great career." And at number 7, Ariel Winter. You might not know that Ariel Winter was a Disney star because her roles with Disney were purely voice roles. Her Disney voice roles included Princess Sophia and her evil copy in Sophia the First, Gretchen the Fireside Girl, and Wendy Stinglehopper in Phineas and Ferb, along with a few others. And since we have seen Ariel grow up on the show Modern Family, there's been intense speculation that her mature look is due to plastic surgery. On one Instagram post, fans were calling out Ariel for changing, saying they liked how she looked before the plastic surgery. Ariel was so offended by the comment, she responded to it saying, quote, "I appreciate you wanting to help girls love themselves the way they are, but you're also kind of cutting someone, aka me, down, which isn't what I think you were trying to do. I also didn't get plastic surgery. That is also not being supportive of women if you're just assuming something about the way they look." She's been open about getting a breast reduction in 2015, but many think she is lying and had more procedures. And at number 6, Hayden Panettiere. Hayden Panettiere is another actor you might not have known was a Disney star as well. She voiced the character of Dot in the 1998 film A Bug's Life and Suri in Dinosaur in 2000, along playing leading roles in the movies Remember the Titans and Tiger Cruise. It's been rumored for years that she's gotten cosmetic enhancements. The most widely speculated is that she got a boob job sometime in 2013. It was also speculated that she got some Botox and fillers because her skin is smooth and her jawline is perfectly symmetrical, unlike before. Halfway at number 5, Fergie. Before she was known as the leading lady in the Black Eyed Peas, Fergie was a young actress and singer in the cast of Kids Incorporated, a Disney show in the 80s. And over the years in the spotlight, fans have deciphered some big differences from the star before versus now. It's been widely speculated that she had a nose job at one point in time because it's much thinner now than it was before. It's been suggested that she had a boob job as well. Many think Fergie went overboard with whatever work she's had done because people think she looks older than she actually is. And at number 4, Jessica Simpson. Jessica Simpson is known for being a southern bombshell that is a woman of many talents, making a name for herself as an actor and singer. During her time in the spotlight, she also worked alongside Disney. She performed a cover of Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid and performed a cover version of A Whole New World for the Aladdin Platinum Edition alongside her ex-husband Nick Lachey. She and her sister Ashley Simpson also made an appearance on a Disney Christmas show and concert special. And when she got older, she decided to try cosmetic enhancements, specifically lip filler, but she hated it and regretted the procedure. She told Glamour in 2006, quote, "I had that Restylane stuff. It looked fake to me. I didn't like that. But it went away in like 4 months. My lips are back to what they were. Thank God." And at number 3, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is an American former actress, producer, author, and fashion model. She's best known for her role as Mary Jensen in There's Something About Mary, along with her role in Charlie's Angels. But she's also had some Disney roles as well. With Disney, she portrayed Jenny Everdeen in the 2002 film Gangs of New York. As she got older, Cameron started to try cosmetic procedures, most notably Botox. But after trying the injectable, she realized that she didn't want to try it ever again. She told ET in 2014, quote, "I've tried Botox before, where it was like a little tiny touch of something. It changed my face in such a weird way that I was like, no, I don't want to be like that. I'd rather see my face aging than a face that doesn't belong to me." And at number 2, Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis is a legendary actor who has starred in so many huge movies and TV shows there is truly too much to name. And many of those acting credits are thanks to Disney. With Disney, Jamie Lee played Tess Coleman in the 2003 remake of Freaky Friday and Aunt Vivian Viv Ash in the film Beverly Hills Chihuahua. She also played Gail Bayer Olsen in the 2010 film You Again. And since Jamie Lee is an A-list celebrity, she admits she succumbs to the pressure to look your best, and because of this she's tried a little bit of everything when it comes to cosmetic injections. But she regrets that decision and will not do it again. She said in one interview, quote, "I've done it all. I've had a little plastic surgery, I've had a little lipo, I've had a little Botox. You know what? None of it works. None of it." And finally at number 1, Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez might be one of the most famous Disney stars of all time. She went from a child actor on Wizards of Waverly Place to a bona fide megastar. At one point she was even the most followed person on Instagram. However, speculation over plastic surgery affected Selena very negatively, so much so that she deleted a photo of her that was at one point the most liked Instagram photo ever. The photo in question was of Selena in a strapless dress holding a drink, and in the photos, her breasts look much larger than we are used to seeing. Because of this photo, rumors that she had a breast augmentation were going wild on the internet. The comment section got so out of hand at one point that she decided to delete the photo altogether. So that's all for the list today, guys. Please let me know your thoughts below. But before I go, I'm gonna shout out some comments from celebrities who tried to warn us about Camila Cabello. John said, "I'm a fan of Camila, but I must say I wasn't happy with her actions, though it happened a long time ago, but felt what other people felt, especially about racism. But I know at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. It's a tough thing 'cause she was younger and you let someone make mistakes and learn and grow and all that, but when it's the same thing so many times, that's when it's a little sketchy to me." Then Brandy said, "Good video, I would love to see one about Fifth Harmony. That'd be interesting." People that don't like Fifth Harmony. Have Fifth Harmony been in feuds? They probably have with other girl groups, but I don't know of any. Then Aaron said, "This is why I never liked Camila. Even when she was in the group, there was something off about her. Now I can see why I was right." Yeah, I always could tell that Camila was the breakout star. She was definitely the one that was the most recognizable. She was the one that was going to go the farthest. I think we all knew that. But I never got the best vibe from her, and I still don't. There's something a little like two-faced about her. Yeah.